For the first time since 2022, the Atlanta Gladiators are back in the Kelly Cup playoffs. At North Charleston Coliseum, they meet a familiar foe, the South Carolina Stingrays, for game number 1 of the South Division semifinals. Good evening, everyone. Guy Chiarenza with you here from North Charleston Coliseum, home of the Stingrays. The Gladiators are back in the playoffs after a 4-year absence, and they are back in a big way. They are taking on the number 2 seed, South Carolina Stingrays, as Atlanta finished the season with a record of 44-23, 4-1, with 93 points in 3rd place in the South. South Carolina, 1 win ahead of them, finished with just 1 more point, with 94 on the season, with a 45-23, 1-3 record. Both teams finished off the regular season with a win. Atlanta 5-3 over Greenville on Sunday, and South Carolina 6-0 over Orlando on Saturdays. The 5th all-time postseason meeting between the Atlanta Gladiators and the South Carolina Stingrays. Both these two teams have split in the prior 4 matchups, with Atlanta's last win over the Stingrays in the postseason coming back in 2013. That also featured the last Gladiators playoff series win and playoff game win. Atlanta here tonight is in search of its first playoff win since April 26 of 2013. In the season series, the Gladiators went 4-3-2 against the Stingrays, as Atlanta this year fared well against South Carolina, and they'll open up the series here with game number 1 at North Charleston Coliseum, and a building that they had a little bit of a struggle in this year, as Atlanta finished the campaign 1-2-2 here at the Coliseum. But for the Gladiators, seems like the sky is the limit right now as they ended the season with a bang. Atlanta went and took care of business in Greenville on Sunday, winning by the final score of 5-3. For the Gladiators, it was the most goals that they've scored in a game since March 28th against Jacksonville, in which they scored 6 goals in a 6-3 win. Brendan Less had a shorthanded goal for the Gladiators to open the scoring in that game, and a big congratulations to Brendan Less, who is celebrating his 28th birthday here today. And for those of you who are listening on Flow Hockey, we do apologize for the audio difficulties that we are experiencing right now. We are currently working on those issues, but unfortunately we did have to start live at some point here on the YouTube side as we get ready for this matchup between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. So we are actively working on sorting out those issues, and we do apologize for the inconvenience, and we appreciate your patience. Joey Cipollone had a goal and an assist in the win against Greenville. Eric Neely also had a goal as well. Cipollone, 2 goals and 1 assist in his last 2. Eric Neely on a 5-game heater with 3 goals and 2 assists in that span since joining the team late in the regular season. Ryan Conroy had the 2nd goal from a Gladiators defenseman that day with a goal. And Carson Denemy had a goal and an apple in the victory, scoring the empty net goal in the 5-3 win. Ethan Hyder stopped 26 of 29 for the Gladiators, as the Gladiators went 0 for 1 on the power play, but they did go 2 for 2 on the penalty kill, scoring a shorthanded goal from Les in the process. For the Stingrays, they are coming off of a 6-0 win over Orlando on Saturday, getting goals from Lipen, Adamson, Combs, Pennard, and Krenzen, as it seems like both teams are in playoff form. Garen Bjorklund made the start for the Stingrays that day, and he ended up getting his first shutout of the year, stopping all 22 Orlando shots that he saw. South Carolina went 1 for 8 on the power play and 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Special teams are going to be a big factor in this series. South Carolina, the most penalized team in the ECHL this season, but they do boast the league's 4th best penalty kill. For the Gladiators, their special teams have woken up as of late, especially their penalty kill, which is operating at the end of the regular season at 81.9%, 14th best in the regular season. Let's get to the keys to the game presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda with our head coach, Matt Ginn. Key number 1 is to just be relentless. The Gladiators know that this is going to be a tough series. The season series was very tight. 6 out of 9 meetings decided by 1 goal, and 7 of the 9 meetings were decided by 2 goals or less. It is going to be a very, very tight series between these two teams. And so for the Gladiators, look to play relentless style of hockey. We've heard Matt Ginn refer to this style of hockey in a variety of different ways this season, playing with jam, playing a North style of game, and of course playing fast and playing direct. Key number 1 is to be relentless. Key number 2 is to control what they can control. And for the Gladiators, they know that they deserve to be here. Their playoff mantra coming into this postseason is they're not underdogs, they're the disrespected. And the Gladiators were a team that many in league circles and in ECHL media, they were a team that a lot of teams or people did not have pegged as a playoff team at the beginning of the year, but by controlling what they can control, playing their style of game, that is how they got here. And so they look to continue that trend here in Game 1. And finally, the third key is to just manage the puck. This is a very opportunistic Stingrays team, much like the Greenville Swamp Rabbits that the Gladiators saw on Sunday. Manage the puck, make smart decisions, especially in a series where it seems like the winner is likely going to be the team that doesn't make mistakes. Those are the keys to the game with head coach Matt Ginn, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. This Friday night of hockey here in the postseason, or Game 1 of the South Division semifinals, is brought to you by Freddy's. Go check them out at 2230 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard as we get set for action here in Game number 1. We'll get to the Gladiators starters here tonight from North Charleston Coliseum as they take on the Stingrays in their first playoff game since 2022. Getting the start at left wing is number 18, Carson Denemy. Played in all 72 games in each of the last 2 years. He is rewarded in a return to the playoffs. He was with Tulsa in the 22 playoffs for a 4-game playoff run. Denemy tonight playing in his 148th straight game. And he ended the regular season with 9 goals, 12 assists, 21 points, and of course, 72 games. His starting center is number 71, Joey Cipollone, who has been red hot as of late. The native of Purchase, New York, finished the campaign with 17 goals, 20 assists, 37 points in 72 games. Just like Denemy, played in all games in the regular season. The two Ironmen starting on the Gladiators' fourth line here today, and Cipollone did have a career year. And thanks to a big burst of goal scoring at the end, Cipollone, 2 goals and 1 assist in his last 2. Starting at right wing for Atlanta is number 24, Ryan Nolan, making his Kelly Cup playoff debut. In 63 games this season, Nolan had 11 goals and 17 assists for 28 points. He'll round out that tenacious fourth line with Denemy and Cipollone. That gets the start here today. At left defense is number 8, Ryan Conroy, standing at 5'9", 185, native of Chestermere, Alberta, has 5 goals and 12 assists for 17 points in 67 games in the regular season, including a goal he scored on a left circle snipe on Sunday at Greenville. His D partner, wearing number 2, Brendan Less, standing at 6'1", 181, native of Kittleton, New Jersey, celebrating his 28th birthday here today. Scored a shorthanded goal, the first of his career on Sunday against Greenville, bringing his regular season totals to 4 goals, 14 assists, 18 points in 57 games. The starting D pairing for the Gladiators is their second, as making his Kelly Cup playoff debut. Your starting netminder, it's number 31, Ethan Hyder, standing at 6'4", 190, native of Maple Grove, Minnesota, under contract to the Gladiators' AHL affiliate, the Milwaukee Admirals. Had a fantastic year, 24, 11, 2, the record, 2.48 goals against average, .920 save percentage, and 1 shutout in 38 appearances. Ethan Hyder finished the campaign with 24 wins and moved into 3rd place all-time in the franchise history in wins, and set the mark with the 3rd most wins in the regular season in Gladiators franchise history with, of course, 24. The backup to Hyder here tonight is number 35, TJ Semptimphelter. As your first line is number 12, Josh Davies, with 19, Jack O'Brien, and 21, Adam Eisley. Second line, 16, Cody Sylvester, with 13, Alex Young, and 59, Eric Neely. And the third line, number 27, Mike McNamee, number 86, Austin Roos, and 22, Isaac Walter. D pairings for the Gladiators, 39, Nychuk with number 10, Gaudette. Horst Conroy and Les get the start. And on the third pairing, it'll be 6, Jarvis with 9, Orzek. Non-dressers for the Gladiators here today, Mickey Burns, Brett Bulmer, and Riley Appel, all out due to injury. Your reserves here today, number 15, Evan Orr, number 74, Dylan Carabia, and number 20, Kirkland Irene. Stingrays make their way out onto the ice, as starting for South Carolina is their first line. Number 15, Josh Wilkins, with number 18, Kyler Kupka, and number 47, Simon Pennard, who finished the regular season 4th overall in league scoring. On the back end, getting the start at left defense is Mikey Adamson, paired up with number 74, Connor Moore. And in goal for the Stingrays here tonight in game number 1, it'll be number 33, Garen Bjorklund. We finished the campaign with a record of 5-2, 2.05 goals against average, and a .935 save percentage. Gladiators are led by head coach and president of hockey operations Matt Ginn. Assistant coach is Zach Fennell. Equipment manager is Ben Ellis. Athletic trainer is Nick Nelson. And I'm Guy Chiarenza, and we are set for the national anthem here in game number 1 of the South Division semifinal between the Atlanta Gladiators and the South Carolina Stingrays. Thank you for tuning in to the pregame show from North Charleston. National anthem coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand and remain standing and remove your caps as we honor our great nation with the performance of our national anthem presented tonight by Patriots White Naval and Maritime Museum. Please welcome from the United States Air Force, Senior Airman Jacob Rivdahl.
We are all set and ready to go. The Gladiators are back in the Kelly Cup playoffs for game number 1 of the South Division semifinals as they meet the South Carolina Stingrays here at North Charleston Coliseum. Guy Chiarenza with you here tonight. Gladiators are happy to be back in the postseason, but this is just the beginning as they look to earn their first Kelly Cup in franchise history. South Carolina, one of the more historic franchises in the ECHL, has 3 banners in this building, and they are looking for their 4th Kelly Cup as they meet a hungry Atlanta Gladiators team here tonight. For the Gladiators, their mantra heading into the postseason was, they're not the underdogs, they're the disrespected. A lot of people in ECHL media and around league circles didn't have this team pegged as a playoff team at the beginning of the season, but under the guidance of head coach Matt Ginn and assistant coach Zach Fennell, Atlanta returns to the postseason for the first time since 2022, and they don't see themselves as underdogs. They just feel disrespected, and they will look to prove all the doubters wrong, and it begins here tonight at North Charleston Coliseum in game number 1. It is a 4-man officiating crew here for game 1 of the postseason. Referees are Brendan Schreider, wearing number 12, and Ryan Siegel, wearing number 42. Linesmen are Shane Gustafson, wearing number 87, and Kyle Gaspari, wearing number 67. You've seen a lot of these four throughout the course of the regular season. And we'll see them here tonight as these two teams meet in what has been a spirited affair over the course of the season series, to say the least. Seems like every time these two teams get together, fireworks go off. We're expecting this playoff series to be no different. Joey Cipollone will meet Kyler Kupka at center circle to drop the puck on the 2026 Kelly Cup playoffs. For the Gladiators, it's their 11th time headed to the dance in 22 seasons of existence. And it all gets started right now. Stingrays win the opening draw. They'll pelt the puck around the horn to the far side wall. Left point Adamson can't keep it in. Breezing by him is Nolan. He'll take it all the way into the far corner. Let it across to the near for Denemy. Back behind the net, it is Nolan again. On his backhand, puts it up top, wanted less. Got it to the line, but looks like it did come out. Delayed offside on Atlanta. Denemy takes it back at center and throws it right back in. Cipollone in pursuit, ends up losing that race. Adamson from the left wing will skate it out to center. From skate to stick, just whacks it to the far boards. Waiting there is Davies, making his playoff debut. The Gladiators, there are 11 players on their roster who have prior playoff experience. As Eisley puts it to the neutral zone for O'Brien. 2-on-2 up the ice. O'Brien, left wing shot, floats wide of Bjorklund. Puck in the far corner as Eisley gets checked by Pearson. Behind the net, it is O'Brien trying to shed the puck away from Rodzinski. Former Steelhead gets it out to center, where Pearson is immediately mobbed by 3 Gladiators. Delayed offside on South Carolina. Gladiators will pick the puck back up. Early stages of this one, fans, you can cast your vote as to who you think is going to score the Gladiators' first goal and factor in with the first assist. Head on over to our social media platforms on Instagram, X, Facebook, and of course, in our YouTube live chat. Make your pick. First goal, first assist brought to you by Hancock Whitney Bank and Pinnacle Promotions, respectively. Neely from his own end, met by Guzzo in the far corner. Puck is available. Gladiators try and throw it out, but we do have the first penalty of the game, and it looks like it's going against Atlanta. Andrew Jarvis off to the box. I believe slashing is going to be the call. And we'll see this Gladiators penalty kill for the first time tonight. That comes just 1:41 in. Gladiators penalty kill this season, 81.9%, 14th best at the end of the regular season. Stingray power play, 18.6%, 14th best in the league this season. Face off to the right of Hyder. No shots on goal for either side yet. Cipollone against Combs at the dot. And off that draw, the Gladiators have won it. Denemy will push it through center and all the way down to Bjorklund. Denemy this season has been one of the Gladiators' best penalty killers and one of the most consistent. Out there on the forecheck now, is emerging from behind his own net is Connor Moore, the Georgia native. He'll leave it for Wilkins. Leads it over the Gladiator blue line. Left wing down the boards, looking for Combs. Gladiators sniff it and pelt it all the way down, thanks to the hard work of Joey Cipollone. And the Gladiators will get fresh penalty killers on as Roost, Nolan, Gaudette, and Nychuk take the ice. Wilkins from the red line slings it around to the left wing. Pinard met by Nolan in the far corner. Pinard takes a swipe at it, drifts it to Wilkins on the near wing, puts it to the line for Moore. Looking back to Wilkins, he finds him again at the half wall. Down low, stuff attempt, stopped by Hyder. Lurking in front was Kupka, and Atlanta is able to clear again. Great play by Hyder to deny Kupka, who led the Stingrays in power play goals in the regular season with 7. 50 seconds left on the penalty to Jarvis. Stingrays come back in. Locus in the near corner, makes his way to the far, on his forehand, puts it to the line. Moore back to Locus. Waiting at the half wall, scanning the interior. Nothing there, so he plays it back to Moore. High slot shot, blocked away by Hyder. Puck goes back to Locus. Back at the half wall again, climbs up to the line, feeds it right wing, Lipen, back to Locus from the right circle. He will center, waiting as Person for a shot. It's blocked by Davies. He'll chase the rebound out to center. Just 15 seconds left on the penalty to Jarvis. Atlanta slings it down again for a clear. And they'll get fresh man on again. Cipollone, Denemy, Nychuk, and Gaudette on for Atlanta. 5 seconds left on Jarvis's sentence. Behind the net, Denemy met by Locus. And Atlanta able to clear it off, sends it out to center. Gladiators 1 for 1 on the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill here in game 1. Back to full strength. Stingrays send it down to Hyder from the trapezoid, leaves it for Gaudette. Up to the near side, shot taken, kicked away by Hyder on Hofer. Now at the right point, it's Rodzinski, tossing it behind the net. Gaudette is there in the far corner to ladle it out to center. Glove down by King, turned over to Roos, tried to surge into the attacking zone, but delayed offside, so he had to pull back. Now drops it into the far corner for McNamee, who is met by DJ King. Gladiators get it back at center. Roos left for Walter. They'll rumble down the right wing and pull up at the half wall. Throw it across to the left wing for Jarvis. Return to Walter behind the cage. Walter turns and shoots wide of Bjorklund. Warzek keeps it in at the right points. He'll slug it into the corner for Roost, who climbs to the high slot. He'll feather it to the left point for Jarvis, who puts it inside for a deflection off the stick of Walter, and the Stingrays will clear. Moon shot to Hofer, breakaway shot, stopped by Hyder. He makes the save. 4:54 into the first and keeps it a scoreless affair in game 1. The Gladiators were able to thread a pass to the inside part of the Stingrays zone, trying to get a deflection on goal. Stingrays are able to pick it off, and they threw a moon ball to man up the ice for the shot. And Hyder was able to make the glove save. Shots are 3-0 in favor of the Stingrays here in the opening 5 minutes. Face-off to the left of Hyder. It will be Alex Young to take this face-off against Kyler Kupka. And off that draw, a bit tied up. Puck will leak into the corner. Les is able to gather it and throw it up the ice in hopes of finding Sylvester. Stingrays are able to pick it free. Gladiators get a stick in there to maneuver out to center. Sylvester from the right wing throws it off the boards to himself. Developing 2-on-1, Sylvester tries to shoot. Ends up missing short side. Puck will stay in the zone. Les will wire it behind the cage for Young. Tries to tuck it in, but a poke check from Bjorklund sends it into the far corner. Gladiators look to press a bit more. Wilkins met by Neely, but he will throw it to center. Conroy tries to juggle a bouncing puck, taken up by Pinard. Feeds it right wing to Kupka. From corner to corner, returns it to Pinard. He'll knife it up top to Adamson. Left point to the right. Moore across to Pinard for a shot. Misses on the blocker side of Hyder. And the puck will roll out to center, and the Stingrays will repossess. Conroy takes it through center, barreling down the left wing. Centers for Eisley, who button hooks to the left point. Adam Eisley will shoot. Save made by Bjorklund. The rebound is stopped by as well as O'Brien was waiting for it beneath the right circle. Kick save by Bjorklund. He's able to reel in the rebound as well for his first 2 saves of the night. We'll keep it a scoreless affair with 6:01 gone by. Game 1 shaping up to be a dandy, scoreless affair here at North Charleston. Gladiators 1 for 1 on the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill and seem to be surging towards the game's first goal. More action to come after these words from our local partners.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Offensive zone face-off for the Gladiators as we return to action. 13:59 left in the first period of game one. Stingrays win that draw on the far side circle. They'll lob at the center where it's reeled in by Nychuk. Look ahead to Davies, who takes a check on the left wing. Shot by O'Brien goes wide. Held in at the right point by Gaudette. Toss it into the corner for O'Brien. Return to Gaudette. Cross ice to Nychuk, who shoots. Blocked in front. Davies has the rebound. He'll slug it to the right point, but Gaudette had vacated it. Puck goes out the center, and he will retrieve. Gaudette up the ice. Ends up icing it. 13:19 left in the first period, and we'll pay a visit to Ethan Hyder. And these two Gladiators goaltenders aren't their strengths this season. Ethan Hyder, TJ Semptimphelter. Hyder, the second-year pro, gets the start in game number one. And really the stats for both goaltenders are very similar against the Stingrays, but Hyder the better record with a 3-0-1 record against South Carolina this year with a 2.75 goals against average and a .920 save percentage. Gets the start, but really we expect to see TJ Semptimphelter likely in game two and at least at some point in this series. Lescavar at the left point takes it off a South Carolina face-off win. Cipollone will bat it towards the blue line. Stingrays hold it in. Good work by Krenzen. Puck goes below the goal line, handled by Cipollone. He'll thread it to the far wall, where it's taken up ice by Denemy. 2-on-2. Denemy drifting left wing. Tries to get something going, but Gladiators a step ahead. They are offside with 12:57 left in the first. Gladiators back at North Charleston Coliseum for the first time since March 6th, and I have to remember that the camera's on the opposite side that I am, so my near side is your far side, and the far side for me is your near side. And so with that being said, it'll be a near side face-off in the neutral zone right at the top of the Stingrays' blue line. Cipollone to take it, tries to cheat a little bit, and ends up getting tossed. So Ryan Nolan will step in. Make that Carson Denemy will step in. Nolan will move to the left wing. And it'll be Denemy against Locust. And Locust does win it. Stingrays with possession. Stevie Lescavar puts it into Gladiator ice. And it's an icing on South Carolina with 12:50 on the clock. So for the Gladiators, 11th time in the postseason in franchise history, 22nd season of play in Gladiators history. So 50% of the time these Gladiators have made the playoffs, but just their third time back in the dance since 2013, which is the last time these two teams met in the Kelly Cup playoffs in the first round of that year's postseason, and that is the last Gladiators series win. And their last playoff win came on April 26th of that same year, 2013, against the Cincinnati Cyclones in round two, in which the Gladiators would ultimately get bounced. They'll push the puck to the trapezoid here. Bruce in pursuit, working with McNamee out of the far corner. Puck will jumble to the line. Held in by Orzek. Pushed left wing for a shot. Blocked in front. McNamee gets the rebound. Tries to put it on goal. That's blocked as well. Jarvis scoots the puck to the end wall. Handled by Krenzen. Throws it to the line. Kept by Jarvis. He'll wheel it around the horn to the far side boards. McNamee in the area. Looking to keep, but too much strength from the Stingrays. A boomerang back to Jarvis in his end of the ice. Ends up throwing it to an open area. Handled by Nakbar. From the right wing, a backhand shot turned away by Hyder. Gladiators try and get out, and a high hit on Jarvis immediately ends the play. There'll be a penalty for that, and the Gladiators are taking offense, as they should. Jarvis is down. Athletic trainer Nick Nelson is going to take a look at him as chaos ensues in North Charleston. Hopefully Jarvis is all right. Was just trying to play the puck. Towards the high slot of his own zone. His head was down, and he got clipped up high. And I believe the Stingray that threw that hit is at the bottom of the dog pile in the neutral zone, as Cody Sylvester went right after him. And I believe that Stingray is Ryan Hofer. And Jarvis is being helped to the Gladiators locker room, and we hope that he's all right. And that should be a match penalty, in my opinion, which not like that means anything, but that's a high hit to the head, and oh yeah, the shoulder of Hofer goes right into the left cheek of Jarvis. That sends him down, and that should be the end of Hofer, in my opinion, but we'll see what these officials end up coming up with. And good on Cody Sylvester. Good on these Gladiators for sticking up for their teammate. Stingrays were the most penalized team in the ECHL in the regular season. As our four-man officiating crew is talking things over right now. For Hofer, he is in the Stingrays penalty box. Sylvester is in the Gladiators box as he immediately went after Hofer to defend Jarvis after the high hit. And it looks like it will be a match penalty to Hofer for head contact, as it really doesn't get more textbook than that. Hofer still sitting in the box, but I think that word is about to make its way down to ice level. As Matt Ginn gets an explanation, as does Dave Warsofsky, the head coach of the Stingrays. And so it is a match penalty to Hofer. His night is done. And it looks like Cody Sylvester is going to get a minor penalty for roughing. So that would send us 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. And then once Sylvester's sentence is done, it'll be a 3-minute 5-on-4 power play for the Gladiators. They wish they could score as many times as they please. That puts Atlanta to the Eco-Electric power play. Well, not quite yet. Jumping the gun there. 4-on-4 here. But barring any changes, it would with the Gladiators to the Eco-Electric power play in 2 minutes. All this happening with 12:02 left in the first. And the biggest concern is the health of Andrew Jarvis. Again, hopefully he is going to be all right, as we are set to resume line action here. So it'll be Kupka against Roost in the neutral zone. 4-on-4 action in game one. Again, match penalty for head contact to Ryan Hofer. The high hit on Andrew Jarvis. And 2 minutes to Cody Sylvester for roughing has us at 4-on-4 here. Walter enters on the left wing. Tries to send it downhill to Roost. Ends up sputtering to the corner where it's gathered by Nychuk. Puck leaks to the inside, and Roost ends up colliding with one of our referees. Ends up getting the puck back on the near wall. Tries to cut inside. Puck loose between the circles. Roost tries the net. Bjorklund's able to fend it off. Puck in the far corner. They'll put it behind the net. Stingrays with possession, and they'll make their way to center. Pinard to the right wing for more. Over the attacking line. Gets it back to Pinard in the near corner. Gladiators are able to press the puck away from him. Turn up ice. Davies feeds it left wing for Conroy. He's got some room. Conroy toe drag, gets spun off the puck. It'll drift into the far corner. Gladiators looking to get it back thanks to a strong forecheck. Big hit on the Stingrays. Davies throws one on Rodzinski. We got another penalty here and some fisticuffs afterwards. That hit occurred in the inner corner of the Stingrays zone. 105 into the penalties to Sylvester and Hofer. Looks like they're going to take Davies to the box. And see what that call is. Another conference going on at the scorer's table. They replay the hit in house. And they believe Davies threw a high hit, and they're going to give him a match penalty as well. So it looks like Davies' night is done. I believe it's the same call, head contact, and does get him with the left shoulder. See if this angle's a little bit better. Little bit of shoulder on shoulder, does come up a bit high towards the face. And they're going to call it the same penalty that they gave to Hofer. So they've yet to put it up on the board, but it looks like it'll be a 5-minute penalty to Davies, and his night is done. And that hit wasn't nearly as bad as the one that was thrown on Jarvis, but was a bit high. Rodzinski able to get up, though, and he was able to move around under his own power. And he is on the Stingrays bench. So now out of all this, you have a 4-on-3 Stingray power play. Well, no, hang on. They are going to throw Stevie Leskovar in the box for roughing. So could this be 3-on-3 for the next 55 seconds until Sylvester comes out? That's exactly what it's going to be. So roughing to Leskovar, a 5-minute major to Davies for head contact, and this is where we're at. With 10:56 left in the first period, I don't think I've seen anything like this. We're going to play 3-on-3 in game 1 of the playoffs for 55 seconds until Sylvester comes out. Then the Gladiators will have a 4-on-3 power play unless you get any more changes. And at this point, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So much like you would see in overtime in the regular season, here in the first period of game 1 of the Kelly Cup playoffs, we have 3-on-3 action. Driving towards the net is Moore. Puck shrugged away by Hyder into the far corner. Behind the net, it is Lipen centering for Wilkins. From the right point, he'll drop it in deep back to Lipen. He'll climb up high and make his way back out to the neutral zone. 20 seconds left on the sentence to Sylvester. Standing up in the box now as Lipen brings it back in, tries to cut inside. Gladiators take it away, and Nychuk will pull back a bit and then lead the next charge. Nychuk carries it over the attacking line from the left wing, takes a shot, save made by Bjorklund. Rebound to South Carolina. Sylvester is out. Gladiators to the Eco-Electric power play. Bringing it back in is Kupka, making his way to the left wing. Roos is able to take the puck away. Gladiators take flight. 3-on-2 up ice. Young from the right wing, looks inside. There is Nychuk trying to push it in, but glove save from Bjorklund, and he will hold. 9:47 left in the first period in this wacky and wild game 1. So it will be a Gladiator power play for the next 51 seconds until Stevie Leskovar comes out. Four-on-3 power play for Atlanta, and they will trot out Young, Nychuk, O'Brien, and Roost. Scoreless game here in game 1. Shots are 5-4 in favor of the Stingrays. Face-off on the far circle. Gladiators win it cleanly. Nychuk surfs the line. Passes right for Young. From the circle, he will hold. Peels back a bit. Cycles up top. Trading places with Nychuk. Passes left wing to Roost. Top of the left circle. Back to Young on the right wing. Young will shoot high and wide, and the puck will carry him out the center. Hyder will collect it in his end of the ice. 23 seconds left on this man advantage. Young brings it back in on the right wing. Pops it to the trapezoid. O'Brien takes flight trying to get to that puck. Stingrays ladle it to the line, and Nychuk can't hold. Forced back out to center, just 10 seconds left on the penalty to Leskovar. Young from the right wing, drops it up top. Young inside to Roost. Downhill, O'Brien shoots. And Bjorklund's got it. He will freeze with 2 seconds left on the penalty to Leskovar, and these two teams will once again get reacquainted with each other with 8:58 left in the first. Certainly the talking point so far in this game is the penalties. Both teams have received a major penalty and an ejection for head contact. First is Ryan Hofer for the Stingrays with a hit on Andrew Jarvis, and then it was Atlanta's Josh Davies for a hit on Romain Rodzinski. Rodzinski still in the game. Jarvis is not. Rodzinski out there right now with 2 seconds left on the penalty to Leskovar. Face off to the right of Bjorklund. Off the draw, McNamee shoots it towards the goal. Bjorklund makes the save, and out of the box is Leskovar. So 4-on-4 now as a shot goes wide of Hyder. Puck behind the net. Kupka tries to center, blocked by Les. He'll take the puck in. He'll find Walter on the near boards. He gets checked. McNamee able to push it to center where Wilkins gets it back for the Stingrays. Pass is flagged down by Conroy. He'll take it into Stingray ice. Down the middle, brushes it to McNamee. He will shoot. Save made by Bjorklund. Falls on his backside, and the puck taken away by Moore. From the red line, Wilkins will sling it back in. Hyder from behind the net leaves it for McNamee. Then on over to Orzek in the far corner. Gladiators reverse to the near side as Gaudette carries the neutral ice. Over the red line, and now Stingray Blue meanders his way to the right wing and drops it in deep for Orzek. Pinned along the end wall by Krenzen. Board battle ensues. Knifed out of the pile by Pinard. Pushed up the ice to Wilkins, and he will just ladle it into Gladiator territory, softly avoiding an icing. As we are down to just 45 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Gaudette over the attacking line, drifts left wing for a shot. Hits the stick and goes away from Bjorklund. Gladiators continue to press. Stingrays take the loose puck, stretch it up the ice to Lipen. Down the right wing, pulls up and shoots. Blocked initially, floats in the slot. Sent away by Gaudette to the far corner where waiting is Sylvester. That puck kind of got lost in the air there for a little bit. Had some good hang time. Jarvis, who is back out onto the ice. Good sight to see. Will push it into Stingray ice on a dump-in. Great to see Jarvis return to this game after taking that high hit from Hofer. Up the ice is Locus. Feeds it left wing to Combs. Back to Locus in tight. Looks to center, but Jarvis is able to pick it off. So now it is a Stingray power play for the next 55 seconds. Gladiators back to the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill. And they can score as many times as they please, as it was a match penalty to Davies. But shorthanded, Nolan takes it down the left wing, pulls up and shoots. Off a stick, it'll go behind the net. Les leaves it for Cipolone. He gets met in the far corner by two Stingrays and is able to pin it up against the wall. Cipolone shaving off some time as finally the Stingrays are able to peel it away. 6:20 left in the first period. Still a scoreless game. Stingrays on the power play for the next 15 seconds. Waiting behind his own net is the rookie, Mikey Adamson. First-year pro out of Sacred Heart. Finally makes his way to the neutral zone. Finds Moore, who centers for Nakbar. Back to Moore. Looks to go down low to Cooley. Puck is broken up and intercepted by Gaudette. First-year pro out of Stonehill College. Having a big game so far in Game 1 as the Gladiators are back to full strength. So out of all of that, nobody scores. We're down to 5:46 left in the first period. Gladiators kick it to the right wing for Young. All alone. Drags it to the half wall. Looks for reinforcements, but the Stingrays are able to steal it away. Nakbar from the red line. Chips it into the near corner. Jarvis is there to meet it. Looking over his shoulder. Leaves it for McNamee. Tries to dance through the slot of his own zone. And threads it up the ice to Neely. Checked hard in front of the Stingrays bench. Rodzinski able to create the takeaway. Gladiators return the favor as Young throws a big one on King, and that will draw a penalty. Once the Gladiators touch up, Stingrays go back to the power play. Meanwhile, Kupka's got it, puts it on goal. Glove save Hyder with 5:07 to play as Rodzinski trying to go after Alex Young. These two teams do not like each other at all. That much is certain. And it's also a given that the Stingrays going back to the power play. Looks like Alex Young is going to sit for the Gladiators. .507 left in the first period of Game 1 of the Kelly Cup playoffs. Scoreless affair at North Charleston. We're back after this from our local partners.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
You can watch Gladiators hockey live on Flow Hockey, which is currently running a limited time offer on annual access during the playoffs. We're home for Gladiators hockey all season long, is receiving a limited time price offer. New or monthly subscribers can get 9 months free with an annual plan of just $9.99 per month. It's about $120 a year. That's 12 months of access for the price of 3. Make sure you score on this limited time pricing offer right now by going to flowhockey.tv. That's FLOhockey.tv. They'll watch the Gladiators on their quest for the Kelly Cup. 5:07 left in the first period. We're in game 1 at North Charleston Coliseum. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, on YouTube, and Flow Hockey. Stingrays win the offensive zone face-off to begin their power play, which is a double minor to Young. For high sticking. So we initially thought it was the hit that Young threw that was the cause of the penalty, but it was actually a high stick, and it looks like it did draw blood, and so that is the cause for the Gladiators going back to the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill, which has seen a lot of work here in the first period. A lot of penalties. We'll talk all about that in the first intermission report coming up after the first period. But for now, the Gladiators, the first order of business is getting another successful kill. Pinard from the left wing surveys his options, puts it up top to Moore, back to Pinard, inside to Combs, takes a shot and is blocked, and less than the Gladiators will clear. And Atlanta will get fresh penalty killers on. Jarvis, Roost, Nolan, and Gaudette take the ice for Atlanta here on the PK as Wilkins drags it in on the right wing, pummels it around to the far wall. We're waiting is Nolan. Kupka to Pinard, down into the corner, back to Kupka, centers to Combs, across they go for a shot, and Hyder's got it. Made the save. Puck went out of play. 4:11 left in the first period. I actually think that hit a stick and went out of play, but either way, it looked like Hyder was going to come across and make that save. And yeah, that was actually blocked by Jarvis and sent out of play. And Jarvis and these Gladiators D-Corps block a lot of shots. You see a big block there as that net was wide open. Hyder moving from right to left. Faceoff will be on the near circle of the Gladiators zone. The Stingrays win another. Adamson, point to Lipen. Back to Adamson at the high slot. Moves it right wing to Funk. Over to Lipen at the left point. Downhill to Locus. Climbs up to the top of the left circle. Drops it off for Lipen. Down into the far corner for Person. Back to Lipen and up top they go. Adamson to the right wing for Funk. To the goal line for Person. Back to Funk. Right circle, delays and doesn't shoot. Finds Person inside for a tight shot that's turned away by Hyder. Puck behind the net. Person's got it. Taken away by O'Brien. Tries to find an avenue out. Stingrays are able to get it back. At the right point, it's Adamson. Back to Funk. Right circle shot. Kick save Hyder. Rebound to Lipen on the left wing. Exchanges with Locus in the corner. Back to Lipen at the half wall. Looks inside, spinorama, drop pass to Adamson, flings it right circle for a drive. Hyder makes the save on that as well as Jarvis gets upended in the near corner. That'll draw a penalty, and the Gladiators have possession. So 1:55 and counting left on the penalty to Young as Gaudette makes his way through the neutral zone. Drifting left wing, he will shoot. Shot snapped wide of Bjorklund. Gladiators keep control. Walter forced out to center. On his backhand, slides it to Conroy. Able to keep it away from Pinard. Up the ice to Cipollo. He enters Stingray ice. Tries to send it back to Walter. Glances off his stick. Conroy keeps control. Centers for a shot. They score! Adam Eisley. And the Gladiators open the scoring in Game 1. Atlanta scores on the delayed call. Evens up the strength to 5-on-5 with Young in the box. It's a shorthanded goal for Adam Eisley, the second of his pro career and his first in the postseason. Absolute cinema here in the first period in Game 1. Gladiator fans waited a long time for their team to be back in the postseason, and boy, this first period is not disappointed. Adam Eisley beats Bjorklund with 2:36 left in the first. And the Gladiators are off and running in Game 1. Conroy and Walter get the assists on the first goal of the 2026 Kelly Cup playoffs. Gladiators still on the kill, as that goal was a shorthanded goal scored 5-on-5 on the delayed penalty. So, I mean, can you call it a shorthanded goal? I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And they're going to call it a shorthanded goal by definition, so I don't think I've ever seen a play like that before. But the Gladiators do open the scoring on it, and they remain on the kill, with Young still in the box for the next 55 seconds. What an oddity this game has been, and it's only the first period. 1:55 left in period 1. Combs drags it over the logo, makes his way down the right wing, leaves at the point for Kupka. Slide it around to the left wing, hopes of finding Cooley, but Nolan cuts it off. Got it, looks to clear, but hits the backside of Roost. Held in, Combs drop pass for a shot, and it's turned away by Hyder on a drive from Rodzinski. Left circle, Kupka across. Good active stick from Jarvis and company. Breaks up the cross-ice feed. Puck stays in the Gladiators zone. 20 seconds left on the penalty as Atlanta is able to clear all the way down to Bjorklund. 80 seconds left in the first period. Shot count 9-7 in favor of the Stingrays. Gladiators lead 1-0. Less behind the net. Checked by Guzzo. Clearing attempt held in. Out of the box is Young. 5-on-5 action. Stingrays retain possession. Look to center for Guzzo. Sprawling out as Hyder to push it away from the slot, and the Gladiators clear to center. McNamee is able to intercept the pass. Atlanta with control. 50 seconds left in the first period. Young takes it over the attacking line. They'll wire it around the horn to the far wall for McNamee. Pinned up by Krenzen. O'Brien steps in to help out, as does Young. Stingrays lob it out to center. Person has it intercepted by Jarvis. Puck available in front of the scorer's table as O'Brien tries to chip it back to his defense. Stingrays pick it off. Funk left circle, shot blocked away by Hyder. The rebound handled as well on the shot by Person. And it's just a series of great glove saves by Hyder with 21.8 left in the first to keep it a 1-0 Gladiator lead. Well, Ethan Hyder has been sneaky good for the Gladiators here in the first. 11 of 11 so far. Two glove dandies there. See a face-off to his right. Second-year pro, making his playoff debut tonight. Cipollone, who is also making his Kelly Cup playoff debut, will take this draw against Lipen. Interestingly enough, Jalen Lipen, under contract to Hershey, has played in more Calder Cup playoff games in the AHL than the Kelly Cup playoffs. Lipen, a second-year pro, making his Kelly Cup playoff debut. Has it from the right circle, snaps a shot, sticked away by Hyder. Gladiators break it up to the line, 6 seconds left. Puck leaks out to center. Sylvester tries to take it on the fly, but time will run out on the first period. And the Gladiators have a 1-0 lead after 20 in Game 1. What a first period that was. Out of the slew of penalties that we had, nobody scored on the power play. In fact, out of all of it, it was a shorthanded goal scored by the Gladiators that opens the scoring in Game 1. Adam Eisley has his first playoff goal to open the scoring with 2:36 left in the first from Conroy and Walter. And that is the difference. Another big difference for the Gladiators in this game has been the work of the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill. We'll recap the first period, talk all about it, and look ahead to the second, and preview this playoff matchup a little bit more, as it is going to be a treat to watch these two teams in round number 1. All that coming up on the other side. Gladiators 1, Stingrays 0 after 1 period in game number 1. This is the South Division semifinals of the Kelly Cup playoffs, presented by Freddy's on Flow Hockey and YouTube.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Game 1 of round number 1 of the South Division semifinals between the Atlanta Gladiators and the South Carolina Stingrays has lived up to the hype. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network on this Friday night of playoff hockey, brought to you by Freddy's. Go check them out at 2230 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. Gladiators up 1-0 over the Stingrays after the first period of play. And it was a wacky and wild road as to how we got there. And it started with a night here on my end that began with technical difficulties. So that was if that wasn't a telltale sign to begin things, not sure what else was. As we do apologize for the late start time on our broadcast, as well as the audio issues on Flow Hockey to begin. We appreciate your patience and understanding, and a big props to the tech crew here at North Charleston Coliseum and the Stingrays to getting things all sorted out, especially on our end. So thank you all very much to them, and off we went. Gladiators returned to the playoffs for the first time since 2022, and these fans have been waiting a long time for playoff hockey. And it was well worth the wait, wasn't it? Because early on, it became apparent that these two teams do not like each other, not one bit. And there was a lot of distaste on both sides. And the Gladiators opened up the game with Andrew Jarvis going to the box for a slash. And so they go 1-for-1 on the PK to begin. And then after that, it was just tomfoolery on both sides. And it began with the Stingrays. Ryan Hofer throwing a high hit on Andrew Jarvis with 12:02 left in the first period that sent us to 5-on-4 with Cody Sylvester going to the box for roughing, sticking up for his teammate, and can't fault him. You really can't. Jarvis takes that high hit from Hofer, ends up going down, has to go off to the locker room. And so it's a match penalty to Hofer. Sylvester in the box, we go 5-on-4, and then while that's all going on, we get another head contact major. This time it's on Atlanta's Josh Davies on a hit that I didn't think was nearly as bad as the one that Hofer threw on Jarvis. And I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to tell you how it is. And yes, was head contact. I think he hit the shoulder of Rodzinski first and then made contact with the head of Rodzinski, which, I mean, either way, it's still head contact, right? But the one on Jarvis from Hofer was clean straight to the cheek, and so Jarvis had to go off for some repairs. Thankfully, he did return later on in the first period. Rodzinski was able to stay in the game after that check from Davies, but looks like it's going to be no nonsense from this four-man officiating crew. They call it head contact. And so Davies has been ejected, as has Hofer. There was a match penalty to Davies and then a matching roughing minor, similar to the one that we saw to Sylvester, to Stevie Leskovar for the Stingrays, that sent us to 3-on-3 action in Game 1 of the Kelly Cup playoffs in the midway through the first period. And out of all of that, neither team scores. And so Gladiators have been great on the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill so far in this game, and it's been a fun one. And we get to a certain point in the first period where Alex Young ends up getting called for a double minor for high sticking late in the period. And so the Gladiators go to the PK, and on that PK, just about kill it off. I believe there's maybe around a minute left on the penalty to Young when the Gladiators drew a penalty of their own. Jarvis got upended in the near corner of his own zone. That drew a penalty, so Hyder off to the bench. It's 5-on-5, but the Gladiators still have Young in the box. And Atlanta seamlessly able to move their way up through the neutral zone. Credit to Ryan Conroy and Isaac Walter for setting up this play because they're able to make their way into the Stingrays zone. Center for Eisley in the slot, and he buries it. The rookie's got his first pro playoff goal, and boy, is he clutch. So Eisley ends up burying it past Bjorklund to make it a 1-0 Gladiators lead on a goal that they technically called a shorthanded tally, although I do believe with the Gladiators, the extra attacker on the ice, it was 5-on-5 there. So by definition, I'm not quite sure if that ends up going down as a shorthanded goal or not, as it was technically even strength with the players on the ice. But in-house, they did call it a shorthanded goal, and on the stat sheet, it ends up going down as a shorthanded goal as well. So there you go. That answers our question. This is the second shorthanded goal in the career of Adam Eisley. You did score one in the regular season. And it comes from Conroy and Walter with 2:36 left in the first period here in game number 1. And so I think the biggest thing for the Gladiators here in this first period was their penalty kill has been phenomenal. 4 for 4 so far to start the night. 0 for 1 on the power play. Their lone power play chance was abbreviated, and I believe it was a 4-on-3 power play, so a bit odd there. But all things considered, Gladiators are winning the special teams battle by far, scoring that shorthanded goal and going a perfect 4 for 4 on the PK. So that helped them a lot out there in the first period, and you just add on the mental fortitude of these Gladiators and really the tenacious style that they play. And there's always a callback, right, to the Beaver Toyota Mazda keys to the game from head coach Matt Ginn. And what was key number 1? It was to play relentless. And that is exactly what the Gladiators did there in the first period. Just a very tenacious penalty kill, got the job done. And then they're very opportunistic. Saw that opening up the ice on the delayed penalty, and they were able to set it up for the only goal there in the first period, all things considered. So the Gladiators are able to weather this storm, faced some tough times, especially with the adversity on the PK, but able to weather that storm and end up coming out on top because of it. Great first period from the Gladiators, despite being outshot 11-7. They are up in front 1-0 here in game number 1, thanks to the shorthanded goal from Adam Eisley. We'll preview the second period on the other side of the break, as well as talk about the all-time playoff history between the Gladiators and the Stingrays, as we're having some fun here in game number 1 on the first intermission report. We are back in a moment here for more first intermission action after a word from our local partners. Gladiators 1, Stingrays nothing. We are back after this.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Atlanta has a 1-0 lead over the South Carolina Stingrays after one period of play in Game 1 of the South Division semifinals. Here to open up the 2026 Kelly Cup playoffs as Atlanta returns to the dance for the first time since 2022. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. It was a very chippy and a very physical first period. That much we can say for certain, and I'm not expecting that to go away anytime soon in this game and really in this series. I think this is just an omen of things to come, as these two teams do not like each other. And for the Stingrays, they were the most penalized team in the ECHL in the regular season, almost 1,200 penalty minutes on the campaign. And certainly saw a taste of that there in the first period. This is a hard-hitting Stingrays team, and they're very gritty. And for the Gladiators, if they can knock them off their game, they're going to be in good company, because this Gladiators team is one of the least penalized teams this year. In fact, Gladiators only had 768 penalty minutes, 24th out of 30 in the league this season. So, all things considered, you would think that that matchup would favor the Gladiators. And in the first period, it was actually the Stingrays who had 4 opportunities on the power play and the Gladiators none. But you have to think that as the series goes on, that would certainly point to benefiting the Gladiators, as it's been a very tight season series. 9-game regular season series. Gladiators went 4-3-2 against the Stingrays. 6 out of the 9 matchups were decided by 1 goal. And these are two teams in the ECHL that one of the better teams in the league in 1-goal games. Gladiators in the regular season were 19-8-4-1 in 1-goal games. The Stingrays were 17-1-1-3. And so it should be a tight series between these two teams, and both teams have a lot to prove. For the Gladiators, their playoff mantra, not the underdog, the disrespected. And that certainly comes from a lot of people in league circles and really ECHL media in general not really believing in this team at the start of the year. A lot of people did not have them pegged as a playoff contender, really a contender in the South in general, and the Gladiators this season really have proven the doubters wrong. And talking to head coach Matt Ginn and Ryan Conroy earlier this week, they don't see themselves as underdogs. They have earned the right to be there, and very much so. They just feel disrespected. Hence the playoff mantra, not the underdog, the disrespected. For the Stingrays, this was a team that, for lack of a better term, choked last season against the Orlando Solar Bears in round number 1. This was the Brabham Cup champions, best team of the regular season last year with a record of 52-15-3-2, 109 points, one of the best seasons in their franchise's history. And yet, were bounced in round 1 in a 7-game series in which they had the lead 3-2 over the Solar Bears. They ended up losing in 7, and we're out in round number 1. And the Stingrays have not won a playoff series themselves since 2021, the COVID year in which they lost to the Fort Wayne Comets in the Kelly Cup final. And so for the Stingrays, they're looking to disprove their doubters and make it past the first round after they've had their playoff woes themselves. For the Gladiators, they're not just happy to be here, they have earned the right to be here, and they're looking to go deep in the Kelly Cup playoffs in search of their franchise's first championship. For the Stingrays, they have 3, and they have not won one since 2009. So that is what is on the line for these two teams, and these franchises have seen each other quite often in the postseason. For the Gladiators, this is their 11th time in their 22-season history making it to the postseason, and this is the 5th all-time meeting in the postseason between Atlanta and South Carolina. Gladiators are 2-2 against the Stingrays in series in the postseason. Gladiators' last series win was against the Stingrays in 2013. It was by virtue of a sweep, which, interestingly enough, both times the Gladiators have defeated the Stingrays in the postseason Both times were sweeps. And that series win was the last time the Gladiators won a series. And that same playoff year was the last time they won a playoff game. The Gladiators' last playoff win was April 26th of 2013. To put that into perspective, the PlayStation 3 was still the console of that generation. The PlayStation 4 would release later on that year, and the much beloved GTA 5 also released along with the PlayStation 4 later on that year. People are still waiting for GTA 6, so it has been a long time coming for these Gladiators. Getting some wins in the postseason, and tonight they are hoping that this is their night and they break that curse and start this series with a victory. All good so far, up 1-0 after one period of play for the Gladiators. Let's see if they can continue to knock the Stingrays off their game. Seems like the more penalties South Carolina takes, the better off the Gladiators are. As we did anticipate special teams to be a big factor here in this series, and that was certainly the case in the first period here in Game 1. But other point of emphasis was the goaltenders. Ethan Hyder, phenomenal in the first period for the Gladiators, stopping 11 of 11. Garen Bjorklund, 6 of 7 there in the first period. Lone goal scored by Adam Eisley. Short-handed. The final moments of the first period to give the Gladiators a 1-0 lead. Coming up next here from North Charleston Coliseum is second period action. But first, let's take a look at our YouTube live chat, see how everybody's doing here on this Friday night of playoff hockey, presented by Freddy's. Peach Fuzz asks, Sky, what PlayStation do you have? PlayStation 5. That's how long it's been for the Gladiators to get a playoff win. Last console won with the PlayStation 3. We're now on the PlayStation 5. Good hello to all of our longtime viewers and listeners. Amy Palmer, Rebecca, the Stadium Arena Multiverse, Daniel, Lynette, Tracy, Stan, Martin, Peach Fuzz, Justin Burke, Taylo. That's just to name a few. Thank you all for your support this season, and happy to see you all. Alexa in the chat as well. Happy to see you all here for game number 1 in the Kelly Cup playoffs. It's going to be a fun ride, and all you guys out there, put away the razors. Playoff beards taking shape. Gladiators looking to make some noise here in the 2026 Kelly Cup playoffs. They certainly did that there in the first period, up by 1 after 1. Second period just about to begin. Gladiators wearing their white jerseys with blue numbers and Gladiator gold trim. Will skate from left to right as those of you on Flow Hockey see it. Stingrays wearing their red jerseys with white numbers and blue trim. Skate from right to left here in the second period. Gladiators drop it in on Bjorklund, and as Nolan crashes the crease, Bjorklund, not a gambler it seems, will elect to freeze 10 seconds into the period. And a big shout out to everybody who is watching at our various watch parties going on right now here for game number 1 of the playoffs. Back at home in Duluth, thank you all for your support of Gladiators hockey. Very much appreciated. Face-off will be to the left of Bjorklund, who is playing in his second Kelly Cup playoff game. Started game 1 against the Solar Bears last year, ended up getting injured and did not play again in the series. The Stingrays did win that game over the Solar Bears. 5-3 final score in which Bjorklund stopped 19 of 22. Conroy at the left point takes a shot off the stick of Cipollone and wide. Behind the net, Moore shuffles it into the far corner. Pinard just sauce it out into Gladiator ice where it's controlled by Les. Up ice for Conroy, broken up by Pinard. Conroy's able to snatch it back. He's able to locate Nolan on the run through center. Push it left wing for Denemy. Cross ice pass is picked off by Kupka. Send it up the ice to Wilkins, who comes to a halt on the left wing. Pass broken up by Conroy, sent up ice to Eisley. The lone goal scorer makes his way to the right wing half wall and leaves it for Cipollone. Behind the net, on his forehand centers. Eisley is there, but it jumbles off his stick. Collects it in the near corner. Over to O'Brien on the far. Now McNamee from the near wing centers for Eisley. He will turn and peel back to the right point. Thread across to Nychuk, takes a shot off a stick and wide. Puck plops down along the near boards. Wilkins shakes it away from McNamee and returns it to the Gladiators D-Corps. Nychuk ahead to O'Brien over the red line, and now Stingray blue. Drop pass for Eisley, pulls away from Lipen. Leads it on down deep to O'Brien. Puck bounces towards Bjorklund. He will freeze. With 1:35 gone by in the second period. The Gladiators will get change of personnel on the ice. We will see Sylvester, Neely, and Young take the ice for this offensive zone face-off. Eric Neely playing in his 4th career Kelly Cup playoff game. Neely and Sylvester were both back with the Gladiators in their last playoff run back in 2022.
Thank you to Hutchinson and Associates.
Sylvester, this is his 3rd time in the playoffs. Went in 2014 with the Wheeling Nailers and back in 2022 with the Gladiators. Stingrays press out to center. Jarvis gathers at his own blue line, moves it to his D partner Orzek. Up the ice to Young, who chips it down deep into the near corner. DJ King around the horn to Locus. Tossed out the center, and the Gladiators get it back. And this is what they do best, just a possession-based smothering style of play. Every time the Stingrays jump it out, Gladiators punch it back in. Young in the near corner. Moves away from Rodzinski. Up top to Conroy. Left point shot is blocked. Takes his own rebound, swats it towards the slot. Sylvester is able to get a stick on it to poke it to the far corner. On his backhand, gets it to Young. Across the line, they wanted less, but Stingray is able to break it up as Les is able to evade and break up a stretch pass intended for Lipen. They'll dump it down to Bjorklund again, who spins it to the far corner. King is there. McNamee tries to create a takeaway, but Guzzo will take it up the ice and find Funk, who's immediately mobbed by Gaudette. Gladiators relentless here to start the second period, which was their best scoring period in the regular season. Roost from his own end chips it up to the line, held in for a left point shot by Leskovar that goes over the head of Hyder. Sent it towards the slot from below the goal line. Gladiators break that up. Roost in front. Stingrays keep it in. Behind the cage is Funk. Looks to center. Hyder gets a paddle on it. Gladiators can't clear. Roost retreats to the near corner. Slugs it through neutral ice. And it will be an icing with 3:30 gone by. And so while the Gladiators had done a good job of pressing the Stingrays early in this period, South Carolina returns the favor and forces an icing from Roost. So Roost, Walter, McNamee, Nychuk, and Gaudette forced to stay on. Face off to the right of Hyder. And off that draw, Walter tries to power it out, but Moore keeps it in. Centers for Wilkins, who brushes between the circles. Gladiators break that up, and they carry out the center. Off the wall, Walter tries to get a stick on it. Moore is able to fish it free. Has Mikey Adamson over the red line, and now Gladiator blue. Passes left wing for Kupka, who shoots. Low line drive, eaten up by Hyder. He'll make the save with 16:09 left in the second. And these two teams were so close in their season series, and so close in the standings too, separated by only 1 point, which is the reason why we're at North Charleston Coliseum right now and not at Gas South Arena. And really, this series is going to come down to which team makes less mistakes. Cipolone will take the draw to the right of Hyder against Stan Cooley. The rookie for the Stingrays has won it. Left point shot blocked in front. Orzek gets in front of the shot, takes it out to center. Passes left wing to Denemy, who floats it wide of Bjorklund into the near corner. Waiting there is Orzek. Gladiators continue to press. Denemy across the line, tried to find Jarvis, but it did leak out of the zone. So Jarvis, just dump it back in. And the Stingrays merge out to center. Nakbar has his pass intercepted. Up the ice is Nolan for a blast. That ends up going out of play. Might have hit the knob of the stick of Bjorklund and screeched out. Another stoppage with 15:37 left in the second. Eisley, Roost, O'Brien on the ice for the Gladiators. Remember, they're without Josh Davies for the rest of this game. So for the Gladiators, who dressed 12 forwards, are now down to 11. Hence why we see this new line combo. And for the Stingrays, they're in the same position. Now Ryan Hofer, who was ejected back in the first period. Puck dumped down into Gladiator ice. Combs tries to fling it into the slot. Save made by Hyder on Lipen. Rebound goes to King. Behind the net on his backhand. Turns towards the net from the left wing and centers. Pass intercepted by Roost. Will carry out to neutral ice. Over the red line. Pops it into the far corner. O'Brien in pursuit. Loses the race to Rodzinski. Stingrays push it out to the near wall and out to center. Puck hits a stick and is played by Gaudette. They're going to say that puck was played with a high stick before it made its way to Gaudette. And so another stoppage here with 5:02 gone by in the second. Meanwhile, Combs and Eisley exchange words. Both guys head off to their respective benches. Adam Eisley's brother, Seth Eisley, is the backup goaltender for the Stingrays here today. A little bit of a sibling rivalry here in this series. Sure, at some point we will see Seth Eisley, the goaltender for the Stingrays, in this series. Stingrays win the neutral zone face-off. Puck bounces behind the cage on the dump-in. Gaudette scoots it into the far corner. Puck is centered. Gladiators push it away. Players collide behind the play as Nychuk got tangled up with Funk. Gaudette from the right point. Threads it behind the net where it's grabbed by Guzzo. Stretch pass picked off by Nychuk, intended for Locust at the Gladiator blue line. Nychuk comes barreling in from the left wing, wants to center, hits a leg, and the Stingrays have control. Funk to Locust over the logo, passes left wing to Rodzinski. Barely onside, they'll pump the puck in deep. Behind the cage is Young, up ice has Neely. Over the red line from the right wing, he will shoot. That gets blocked by Adamson. Neely ends up blowing a tire. Puck held in by Young at the right point. Stingrays chop it up to the neutral zone. Entering Gladiator ice's Kupka. Slows down along the left wing and spins it to the right. Moore, shadowed by Jarvis. Ends up pushing it out to the neutral zone off an errant pass. Stingrays re-enter. Adamson, right wing for Moore. Walter on the back check, takes the puck away. Gladiators have numbers up the ice. Jarvis moves it right wing for McNamee. He tries to take a shot. That gets blocked. Ends up pushing the puck into the near corner. Roost to Walter. Tries to shake away from Adamson. The Swede behind the net ends up losing the puck. McNamee on the forecheck, looks to get it back. Adamson in the far corner. Backhands it up the ice to neutral territory. 13:15 left in the second period. Gladiators return it to Bjorklund. Now along the near side wall, Cooley takes it in at center. Comes blazing down the left wing and cuts towards the net. Poke check, Hyder, the rebound, sent away with a miraculous blocker save from Hyder. Unbelievable. First the poke check, then a diving blocker save to keep that puck out. Conroy lobs it to the neutral zone. Off the body of Lescavar, checked by Cipollone. Gladiators want the puck, but the Stingrays have it. In a flash, they'll put it into the far corner of Atlanta's zone. Cipollone quickly spins it out to center for Nolan. Lescavar drives it back in behind the net. Conroy will field it. Takes the check from Nakbar. Gladiators look to stretch it up to Cipollone. Puck skips in front of the scorer's table as Denemy backhands it down to Bjorklund. Play getting physical here in the midway stages of the game. Was very physical in the first period. Kind of got away from that here at the start of the second. Back to business here midway through the period. Approaching 8 minutes gone by in the second. Gladiators lead 1-0 in game one. Puck goes off a stick and out of play on a feed intended for Denemy on the left wing. And so it is exactly 8 minutes gone by here in the second. And the Gladiators have a 1-0 lead. We are back for more Game 1 action after these words from our local partners.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon. 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Second period action from North Charleston Coliseum in Game 1 of the South Division semifinal between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. Atlanta with a 1-0 lead to this point, thanks to the late first period goal from Adam Eisley, shorthanded with 2:36 to play in the opening frame. Stingrays lead the shot count 15-9. The Gladiators have got them where it counts. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Walter has a glance off his stick on the right wing. Stingrays press to center. Funk tries to shrug away from O'Brien. Gladiators able to create a takeaway. Eisley soars down the left wing and shoots off the post, and it stays out. Almost beat Bjorklund for the second time today. Remains a 1-0 affair. Left circle shot by Funk goes off the stick and out of play with 11:33 left in the second. Well, Adam Eisley is moving some kind of way here in this game. The rookie really using his legs to his advantage. He was able to surge down that left wing and rang the dinner bell there. Looking for his second of the night. Bjorklund and the Stingrays get lucky. Face off to the right of Hyder. Young will take this against Kupka. Young, the Gladiators' leading scorer in the regular season. 59 points in 72 games. 27 goals and 32 assists. Gladiators make their way into Stingray ice. Orzek to the goal as it's sticked away by Bjorklund. Now in the far corner, Sylvester takes it behind the net. Bumped off it by Lipen. Looking to help out his Young. Stingrays create the turnover, make their way to center, developing 3-on-2. Neely trying to hustle back on the back check. Person inside for Combs. Gladiators force him to the right wing wall. Up at the line, long shot by Adamson, deflects on goal. Hyder to save the rebound, put in by Lipen, and we're tied. Stingrays crash the crease. Jalen Lipen gets the rebound. And he'll go on the back end to put it upstairs. Hyder did everything he could, but fortuitous bounce for the Stingrays ends up going their way, and we are tied at 1 in Game 1. Jalen Lipen has the first goal of his Kelly Cup playoff career. And the Stingrays have tied this game at 1. Goal comes 9:02 into the second period. Gladiators look to respond. Stingrays take it up ice, left wing across, broken up by Les, who sprawled out. Break up the cross-ice feed. Conroy over the attacking line from the right wing. Takes it all the way to the end wall. Exchange with McNamee, who wants to center. Hits the backside of the cage and sputters to Roost. Just drops it back to the neutral zone for Les. Gladiators rethink things here, trying to go back on the attack. Conroy drags it down the right wing, takes the check, but dispenses it to the trapezoid. Gladiators center, Denemy a shot. This is short side. Ends up behind the cage. Gladiators battle for it. Roost will emerge. From the left wing, makes his way to the circle, cuts to the inside and trades it off to Denemy. Down into the corner, tries to brush it across. Stingrays able to pop it to the line, but not out. Got it with the keep, finds Cipolone left wing. Cipolone shoots, blocked by Krenzen. Stingrays out to center and a little bit more. Pinard over the attacking line, drops it off for Wilkins. Puts it behind the net where it's fielded by Nychuk. Nolan brushes it to the right wing for Cipollone. He'll peg it in deep. That'll go down as an icing with 9:29 left in the second. Boy, I'm not sure about that one. So they are counting Gladiators and trying to get those. We're trying to sneak off to stay. Nolan, one of those culprits, pointing at me. We'll have to stay. See a face-off to the right of Hyder. Lipen with the Stingrays goal. Extends his point streak to 4 games dating back to the regular season. Had a goal and 2 assists in the Stingrays' 6-0 win against the Solar Bears on Saturday. 2 goals and 5 assists in that span for Lipen. Stingrays win the face-off. At the left point, it's Rodzinski. Exchanges with Combs for a long bid. Hyder makes the save, and I don't think he knew where it was. I believe it's in his glove, but did some acrobatics to make sure that that was the case. Fell on his backside, and all in all, it worked. Puck stays out. Let's see. Yeah, it was a glove save for Hyder. And a little bit of dramatic flair there from the second-year pro. The former 5th-round draft pick of the Nashville Predators back in 2019. Making his Kelly Cup playoff debut tonight. Faceoff will be on the far circle to the left of Hyder. Lipen and O'Brien will duel. Man, a bit of sticky fingers here from Kyle Gaspari. Let's drop this thing, and they do. And the Gladiators win the draw. Jarvis makes his way to the neutral zone, finds O'Brien left wing. Low shot stopped by Bjorklund. Bobbled it for a moment as McNamee crashed the crease. But he is able to freeze, and afterwards, a bit of a skirmish between these two, and not the first time we've seen that tonight. O'Brien and McNamee in the thick of it, along with DJ King and Romain Rodzinski for South Carolina. Shot count 18-14 in favor of the Stingrays. And the shot count is something that we're going to keep an eye on here in this game and really in this series, as these two teams only averaged about 28 shots per game on both sides. Gladiators 25th out of 30 in shots for per game this season. Stingrays 28th. Face off on the far circle. O'Brien will take it against Cooley, and the Stingray is the victor. Orzek keeps it alive at the right point. Long shot, Karam's wide. Puck will skip to the near corner. McNamee taking a couple of jabs at it. Stingrays try to muscle out, and they will. Boopko with control. Finds Rodzinski on the left wing. Had a hat trick against the Gladiators in the last meeting between these two in the regular season on March 15th as the Stingrays ice the puck. Rodzinski had a great year for South Carolina. 9 goals, 24 assists, 33 points in 53 games. This is just his second career Kelly Cup playoff game. And that Stingrays goal, the lone assist goes to Ludwig Persson on a score from Lipen that tied the game. 9:02 into the second. 8:41 to go in period 2. Face off to the left of Bjorklund. Gladiators win it. Right point, Les is waiting. He will shoot off a stick, and the Stingrays will take it to the left wing and just lob it into Gladiator ice. Cooley tries to flag it down. Les keeps him to the perimeter. Centering pass, broken up by Sylvester. Sends Les on the run. Finds Young left wing, pass a bit behind. He's able to turn and drop it into the Stingray zone. Hits a man on the bench and goes out of play with 8:18 on the clock. So another stoppage here. Gladiators on the ice. Sylvester, Neely, and Young with Conroy and Les. Brendan Les had a fantastic campaign for the Gladiators in the regular season. In fact, how good was Brendan Les for the Gladiators this year? He wasn't good, he was great. First year in Atlanta, and he sets the mark as the 3rd best plus-minus in a single season in franchise history. He's a plus 26. Long shot Sticked away by Bjorklund. Stingrays will clear. Les will handle back in his own end. Of course, Brendan Les is celebrating his 28th birthday today, so congratulations to him. Gladiators plug it back to Bjorklund from the trapezoid. Leaves it for Adamson. A couple of quick passes for the Stingrays. They find Funk on the left wing. They gain the red line. Move it across to Moore, and it bounces off his stick. Neely tries to take advantage. Takes Moore to the wall. Gladiators come inside. As down the middle is Young, cuts to the goal. And ends up getting bounced away. At the right point, they move it to the left. Nyachuk to the right wing for a blast from Sylvester. That goes high and wide. Gaudette back into his own end. Moves away from Locus. Gladiators move it up ice to Sylvester. Has some separation on the right wing. Sylvester tries to thread it to the slot for Gaudette, but it bounces off his stick and the Stingrays will clear. Stretch pass goes away from Kupka, but he does beat out the icing. Wilkins on the right wing keeps the puck for South Carolina. Gladiators able to strip it away. Good work by Nychuk. He'll throw it to the neutral zone for Eisley. Left circle, he'll pull up looking for reinforcements. He'll turn and shoot. Ends up going wide. Held in at the right wing by Orzek. Stingrays fish the puck out of his skates. Krenzen takes it on the run. Rolling down the right wing, Krenzen pulls up in the corner. Met by Roost, Eisley, and Jarvis. Gladiators are able to take the puck away. 6:34 left in the second period. Orzek down the middle, brushes it to the right wing. Off the skate of Eisley, available behind the nets. Gladiators press to the far corner. Look to create a takeaway as it bounces on goal to Bjorklund. He reaches out to Freeze with 6:22 on the clock. And the shot count 18-15 in favor of the Stingrays. Stingrays finished the campaign 17-1, 1-3 in one-goal games. Their lone loss in regulation in a one-goal game came to the Gladiators back on November 23rd. 3-2 win for Atlanta at Gas South Arena. Face-off on the far circle. Cipollone will duel, and he's going to get tossed. And a shake of the head from Joey Cipollone. Doesn't agree with it, and looks like Denemy will step in to take this draw against Lipen. Kyle Gaspari laying down the law. A couple of words for Lipen and Denemy. Let's drop the thing, Kyle. And he does. And off that face-off, the Stingrays will win it. Rodzinski off the corner wall, held in by Conroy. Shot is stopped on a low drive by Conroy, handled by Bjorklund. He'll freeze again. 6:13 left in the second. And the Stingrays were one of the best teams on home ice this season. Stingrays were 26-9-0-1 in the regular campaign. Only Kansas City had more home wins this year. And Kansas City won the Brabham Cup, best team in the regular season. Led by Coach of the Year, Tad O'Had. Another clearing attempt held in by Conroy. Takes a shot, the rebound available. A couple of Gladiators overskate it. Conroy was able to reel it in. Puts it up top, Nolan a shot. Save made, Cipollone the rebound, and he puts it just wide. Cipollone got hauled down, and we have a penalty here with 5:55 left in the second. I believe this is going against the Stingrays, and it will be. DJ King going to the box. Gladiators to the Eco-Electric power play. Holding the call. And Gladiators will head to their second power play of the night. So King, who is a defenseman for the Stingrays and another penalty killers, in the box right now. Gladiators and Stingrays all tied up at 1. Atlanta looking to take the lead back when we come back after this from our local partners.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Glads fans, spice it up at Freddy's by trying the new Mike's Hot Honey Chicken Sandwich or chicken tenders and the new Molten Chocolate Cake Shake. Check it all out at Freddy's at 2230 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. Gladiators on the power play, their second of the night. As they win the face-off, Young has control on the right wing. In the corner, it's O'Brien. Pivots away from Moore. Climbs up the wall, has Young at the right point. Returns it to O'Brien. From the circle, tries to dangle to the goal, but a little too much. Stingrays take it away, and they will clear. Nychuk will lead this power play from the back end, as he will start the next charge up the ice. Has Walter in motion. The Swede from the right wing looks to center, hits a stick, and skips out of play with 5:20 on the clock. And this Friday night of hockey is brought to you by Freddy's. And reminder to everyone watching that the final 2 minutes of the second period will be the Freddy's Frozen Minutes, where the Gladiators score a goal in the final 2 minutes of the period. All Gladiators season ticket holders will receive one free mini custard at Freddy's on Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. We are 3 minutes and 20 seconds away from that. And hopefully by that time, the Gladiators will be looking for their third goal after scoring here on the power play. Young stick breaks off the face-off win, and so has to go get a new one. Thankfully, this is the period of the long change, so they didn't have to go very far, but the Stingrays do take it away and make their way through center. And Lipen, shorthand, it's going to drag it down the right wing. Lipen's going to pull up, just throw it back to his decor. And the Stingrays playing keep away from the Gladiators, who were on the power play for the next 56 seconds. This was the fourth best penalty kill in the regular season. We're starting to see why. Gladiators have possession back. Neely to Roost, his pocket picked by Kupka. Brushes right wing for Pinard, back to Kupka, and he sends it wide. Pinard in front, second opportunity, bobbled by Hyder, and he's able to cover. And afterwards, some fisticuffs between the two. 33 seconds left on the penalty to King, 4:27 in the second. It's certainly not the way the Gladiators expected this power play to go. Gladiators' goal is short-handed by Adam Eisley. Stingrays' goal came 5-on-5 from Jalen Lipen, who was a bit of a pest here on that last shift for South Carolina, working with Kupka. Those two dangerously almost created the chance. And Pinard was in that area as well with the final opportunity. And this face-off is going to be in the neutral zone. And this benefits the Gladiators greatly because they lose it out of their own zone. With them still on the power play for the next 33 seconds, gives them a bit of a boost here. Cipolone will take it against Cooley, right in front of the Stingrays bench. Gladiators win the draw. Sylvester back to McNamee. Gladiators on the ice. Sylvester, McNamee, Neely, Eisley, and Cipolone. 5 forwards here as they enter on the right side. The puck will skip to the trapezoid. Gladiators help it to the left wing. Where waiting is Sylvester. From the corner, behind the net to Neely. Back to Sylvester. Up top to McNamee. 5 seconds left on the power play. Eisley from the left wing threads it across. Sylvester will shoot off a leg and wide. And that is the end of the penalty. Out of the box is King. He'll join the play. Stingrays fly through center. King will just drop it into Gladiator ice and get off for a change. 3:40 left in the second period. As Les fans on a pass, trying to outlet out of his own zone. Stingrays trying to take advantage. As puck will ping-pong through the neutral zone to Moore, who slaps it right wing for Person. He will pull up, immediately gets checked by Conroy and kept to the outside. Battle in front of the Stingrays bench for the puck. A couple of eager eyes looking on the Stingrays side of things. The puck will roll deep into Gladiator territory. Gladiators spit it out to center. Young to Nolan. Slam it down to Bjorklund from the trapezoid. Plays it. Dangerous. Forecheck from Nolan almost created a turnover. Stingrays able to escape. Loose puck at center. Grabbed by Nolan. Comes down the left wing. Scans the interior. Tries to take a shot, but that gets blocked by Adamson. And now they'll fight for it on the far side wall. Stingrays are able to pull it away from Nolan. Chop it up to the neutral zone. Person gains the red line and catapults it into Gladiator ice. 2:33 left in the second as Hyder leaves it for Jarvis. He'll exchange with Walter. He'll deke his way out to neutral ice. Gladiators stymied on the zone entry. Stingrays will ice it. 2:17 left in the second. We'll see an offensive zone face-off for the Gladiators. There's some tired Stingrays on the ice. Looks like Nychuk will hop on. And Sylvester, Roost, Orzek, and Walter will remain. Face-off to the left of Bjorklund. Roost will take this against Cooley. Austin Roost playing in his 6th game with the Gladiators this season. His first Kelly Cup playoff game. Stingrays win the draw, volley the puck out the center. Cooley from the red line just pelts it off the Gladiator end wall. Nychuk is there to snag it. Chad Nychuk, who's named to the All-ECHL first team this season, sets up the zone entry. Roost drives towards the net. Has it skipped by his stick. He will center. Nychuk shoots. Blocked by King. Puck loose. Roost will spit it wide of the nets. Nychuk holds at the left point. Finds Roost from the high slot. He'll turn. Makes his way to the right circle and has his pocket picked. Nakbar with the steal. Funk makes his way by Gaudette. Barreling down the left wing, looks to center. Sprawling out was Nychuk to break up the pass. And behind the play, Roost took a check from Nakbar. Stingrays at center will enter down the middle. Gladiators return the favor with a check on Pinard. Atlanta has the puck. McNamee from the right wing spins it down to Bjorklund. 1:10 left in the second. Stingrays shove it to center. From the logo, McNamee tries to dig it out of his skates. Or in the Stingrays soar upwards. Gladiators take it away at their own blue line. Gaudette from the right wing takes in the pass. Creates some separation. Turns away on his forehand and ends up losing it to Kupka. Stingrays on the rush. Delayed offside. Gladiators will touch it. And emerge to center. O'Brien over the red line. Feels some contact. Drifts towards the left wing and skips his way into Stingray ice. Finds Denemy behind the net. Puck taken away by Moore. Flushed out into the near corner. Nolan and Denemy try and peel it away from Moore. Stingrays able to maneuver out the center. 15 seconds left in the period. Quick pass to Guzzo. Left for Moore. From the left circle. Spins it to the right. Nobody home. Locust forced into the far corner. Checked off it by Conroy. Time running out. Gladiators clear the zone. And the second period ends in a 1-1 tie.
At the end of the period of play, we are tied at 1 apiece. Stingrays with 20 shots on goal.
Tight game in game number 1. Gladiators had a 1-0 lead after one period, thanks to the goal from Adam Eisley, assisted by Brian Conroy and Isaac Walter with 2:36 left in the first. Stingrays fought back to tie the game. The goal 9:02 into the middle frame from Lipen, assisted by Ludwig Persson. That is the scores so far in a 1-1 affair after 40 minutes of play. Season series was tight. Game 1 is tight. And we'll talk all about it into the second intermission reports. We'll recap the first 2 periods of play, look ahead to the third, talk some shop here on Game 1 of the Kelly Cup playoffs here in the South Division semifinals. All that and a whole lot more Coming up next here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, we are back after this from our local partners. Once again, it's the Gladiators 1 and the Stingrays 1 after 2 periods of play.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh. Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track. We don't just straighten you out, we empower you.
We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
After 2 periods of play in Game 1 of the South Division semifinals between the Atlanta Gladiators and the South Carolina Stingrays, it is a 1-1 tie at North Charleston Coliseum. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. I'd like to extend a big shout out to everybody at our watch party back in Duluth and to everybody watching back at home, and even bigger shout out to all the Glads fans that made the trip to North Charleston, about a 5-hour drive from Duluth. Thank you all for your support here this weekend and throughout the course of the regular season. It does not go unnoticed. Not at all. Gladiators and Stingrays tied up at 1 after 2, and this is what was to be expected between these two teams. In the 9-game season series, 6 out of the 9 were decided by 1 goal. In such instances, the Gladiators went 2-2-2 in the season series, and here in this game, just 1 goal on the board for both sides. Gladiators' goal came late in a hectic and crazy first period in which both teams saw a guy go and get ejected in this game. The 5-minute major for head contact. First, it was Ryan Hofer for South Carolina. Then it was Josh Davies about 2 minutes later for the Gladiators. Or not even 2 minutes later, about a minute later. And both are out for the rest of this game. And we'll see if there's any suspensions to be handed out later on before Game 2. But both teams are down a forward in this contest now, who both addressed 12, so now 11 forwards on either side. And out of all the penalty chaos that we had in the first period, neither team scored on any of it. In fact, it was a shorthanded goal from Adam Eisley that got the scoring started in Game 1 as the Stingrays were on the power play as Young was in the box for a double minor for high sticking. Gladiators drew a penalty, were able to get Hyder off the ice for 5-on-5 action as they made their way up the ice, playing keep away from the Stingrays. And it was Walter to Conroy to Eisley. He was able to find the back of the net for the score. It does go down as a shorthanded goal despite both teams having 5 skaters on the ice. And that gave the Gladiators a 1-0 lead. 2:36 left in the first period. And they held that lead through the period's conclusion. Make our way to the second period, and the Stingrays are able to break free As about midway through the period, 9:02 win. The Stingrays get a goal from Jalen Lipen as just a simple play from South Carolina. Ethan Hyder has been phenomenal here in Game 1 for the Gladiators. Stingrays are just trying to throw everything they can into his kitchen sink. Hyder able to make the save on the initial shot, but ended up sprawling out to save it, and the puck ping-pongs right onto the tape of Jalen Lipen, who was waiting for the rebound. And he's able to put it in for his first career Kelly Cup playoff goal to tie this game up at 1. Ludwig Persson gets the assist, as he was the one who took the initial shot that was either stopped by Hyder or it was blocked in front. One way or the other, Lipen is able to pick up the juicy rebound and put it in for the Stingrays' first and only score of the game. And as crazy as the first period was with penalties, we only saw one back in the second period, as things kind of cooled off a bit after the first period, and might be a byproduct of the officiating crew saying, hey, let's not do that again, let's keep things clean. Or it might have been the two coaching staffs as well saying, hey, keep a level head, keep your composure. This is a playoff game, and every mistake is going to count. And so for these Gladiators, they are able to so far win the special teams battle with the shorthanded goal from Eisley, and they are also 4 for 4 on the PK as well. They are 0 for 2 on the power play to this point. The Gladiators were outshot 11-2-7, I beg your pardon, in the first period. They outshot the Stingrays 11-9 in the second period. Gladiators scored once in the first period, Stingrays once in the second. And it's just been a tight game. That's really all you can chalk it up to being, and it's playoff hockey. And it felt like every time these two teams met each other in the regular season, it felt like a playoff game. Well, now this is the real thing, and it certainly has lived up to the hype, and it certainly has felt that way. It hasn't been lopsided on one end. It's really been even-keeled between both of these two teams, and I think what's going to come down to here in the third period and potentially beyond is who makes the mistake. In a game like this, which team makes the mistake that the other team punishes them for? And I think that is going to be the team that wins Game 1. And that, to a T, is playoff hockey. It's going to be a battle of composure. It's going to be a battle of just which team is able to manage the puck better, which, again, is something that head coach Matt Ginn knows and these Gladiators know, as that was one of the keys to the game, manage the puck. Back from head coach Matt Ginn, presented by Beaver Toyota Mazda. And so we turn our attention to the third period, which was right behind the second period for the Gladiators' best scoring period this season. The Gladiators had scored in 3 straight third periods to conclude the regular season. And so we'll see if that trend continues for Atlanta, as it feels like the next goal in this game could very much end up being the game winner. And we know how well both of these two teams had fared in one-goal games this season. Going to recap that. The Gladiators were 19-8-4-1 in one-goal games in the regular season. The Stingrays were 17-1-1-3. And the lone team that handed the Stingrays their one regulation loss in a one-goal game was the Gladiators, who defeated the Stingrays 3-2 at Gas South Arena on November 23rd. It's playoff hockey. Anything goes. Stingrays and Gladiators tied up at 1. South Carolina leads the shot count 20-18 through 2 periods. We are back for more second intermission action after 2 periods as we look ahead to the third here at North Charleston Coliseum. We are back after this from our local partners.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
1-1 is your score after 2 periods of play in Game 1 of the South Division semifinals between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the second intermission report here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Once again, another big shout out to our watch party at Coquio over in Duluth. Big shout out to our great fans watching from back home. Games 3 and 4 in the series will be on Monday and Tuesday night at 7:10 p.m. at Gas South Arena. And really looking forward to Monday, as it'll be the first playoff game at Gas South Arena in 8 years. Glads fans, get hyped. I am certainly ready for that. And Game 2 here from North Charleston Coliseum will be tomorrow night. Again, you can watch that game on Flow Hockey and listen in on YouTube. And note that the start time for Game 2 is an hour earlier than it was here for Game 1. Game 2 is a 6:05 puck drop. So we'll call it a 5:45 pregame show here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. And so this is going to be a fun series. In the first 2 periods, really lived up to the hype. And me and Brendan Riley, the Stingrays broadcaster, were talking about this before the game. We really feel like that this is going to be the most entertaining and closest series out of the first round of the Kelly Cup playoffs this season. These 2 teams are so evenly matched, not just in the season series, but in the standings and the way they played each other. It really feels like this series has a chance to go the distance. And I know this is just Game 1, but the score right now speaks for itself. 1-1 tie after 2. In a game where it feels like the next goal could be the game winner. The Gladiators are going to have to dig deep here and just try not to make any mistakes. You have plenty of time, as you got the third period, and if you need it, overtime. But this is the Gladiators team that has shown a lot of composure this season. And, you know, they really do laugh in the face of danger. They really do. As, you know, their mantra heading into the playoffs, not the underdogs, the disrespected. They heard all the noise throughout the course of the season. They knew exactly what people were saying about them, and they didn't care. They did not care one bit. And so for anybody who'd picked the Stingrays to win this series over the Gladiators and thought that it might be a quick series, I think you're going to be sorely mistaken. And these Gladiators have put up a great fight so far through 40 minutes in this game, and looking forward to an exciting third. First playoff game for the Gladiators in 4 years. It has certainly lived up to the hype. They will look to take the W at the end of the night. We also have some more Kelly Cup playoff action going on around the league. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. In Game 1 between Maine and Adirondack, that game is headed to overtime. Tied 1-1 after regulation. It is the first overtime game of the Kelly Cup playoffs. Over at West Banco Arena, the Wheeling Nailers have a 2-0 lead over the Reading Royals after 2 periods. The other South Division semifinal series between the Florida Everblades and the Savannah Ghost Pirates has Florida up 1-0 with 3:50 left in the second period. In the Central Division, the Fort Wayne Comets have a 1-0 lead over the Indy Fuel with 8:20 left in the second. And just getting underway at Cable Dahmer Arena, Game 1 between Kansas City and Tahoe Night Monsters. And the Allen Americans and the Idaho Steelheads playing game number 2. Allen leads that series 1-0 over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. And so that is what is on the docket so far here today, as it is technically day 2 of the Kelly Cup playoffs, as Toledo and Allen both won on night number 1. There's so much more fun to be had, and this is just the beginning. And for the Gladiators, this is a building that they have spent a lot of time in this season. Gladiators are 1-2-2 at North Charleston Coliseum this season, but they're looking to win when it matters. And I talked to Ryan Conroy earlier in the week about playing in this building, playing in a tough playoff environment. Kind of just laughed and said, I love it. The noise does not affect him. And for these Gladiators, as I mentioned before, they really do laugh in the face of danger. And they're looking ahead to a big third period here in North Charleston. Let's take a look at our YouTube live chat, see what everybody's doing here heading into the third period. And one thing is of note, we don't get ahead of ourselves here, but we'll note that in the ECHL, the playoff overtime is the same as the NHL. So if we do not have a winner through regulation, we would then go to an overtime period, 5-on-5 overtime after I believe it's a 16-minute intermission. And then you go into the overtime period, sudden death, 5-on-5 until somebody scores. And a fun fact between these two is the Gladiators and the Stingrays have met now 5 times in the Kelly Cup playoffs. It's the most the Gladiators have seen any opponent in their franchise's playoff history. The longest game in Gladiators and Stingrays history is the 3rd longest game in ECHL history. It was played between these two all the way back some time ago. In the great year of 2012. 2012 Eastern Conference quarterfinal. That game went to 4 overtimes. And South Carolina did end up winning that game. Little fun stat nugget for you here. Both teams make their way back out onto the ice for the start of the third period. So we've got a long way before we get to any of that. But it is a tie game, so it's something to keep an eye on. With some food for thought. Gladiators wearing their white jerseys with blue numbers and Gladiator gold trim. They will skate from right to left in the third period. Stingrays wearing their red jerseys with white numbers and blue trim will skate from left to right. Take a look at our YouTube live chat, see what everybody's doing. Looks like everybody's hanging in there. I know we got a lot of fun going on at our watch party at Kokio. And last I heard, there was a bottle of tequila being passed around with some shots in it. So we'll pour one out in my honor. And we'll see if the Gladiators can get this thing done. Looks like everybody's having some fun. And looks like Lynette and Doug are going to be in the North Charleston Coliseum for Game 2 tomorrow. Again, thank you all of our fans for their great support so far this season. And we did not have that Freddy's Frozen Minutes goal, but make sure you do make your way over to Freddy's. I'm getting hungry. Hopefully this thing does not go to overtime, but I sure could go for some Freddy's right now. So make sure you head on over to Freddy's. Get yourself a cooked-to-order steak burger and some fresh frozen custard at Freddy's at 2230 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. We are set for the third period. Gladiators and Stingrays tied up at 1. That will do it for the second intermission report here in game number 1. Gladiators win the opening draw of period 3. Try and enter on the left wing. Stingrays having none of it. Will prod it down to the left of Hyder. Big check along the boards. Les gets away from Pinard. And away go the Gladiators. Over the red line is Cipollone, wiring the puck to the trapezoid. Slowed down by Bjorklund, sent to the slot by Denemy. Bjorklund jumps on it. Able to get the freeze. 24 seconds into the third. J-Bug asks, how do you find out about the watch parties? That's a great question. Make sure you follow the Gladiators on our social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure you are following, subscribed, whatever the sort. Stay up to date with all the latest news from the Atlanta Gladiators. That is where they post about the watch parties and their times. Defensive zone face-off won by the Stingrays. They'll chuck it out the center. Glances off a stick. Gaudette, in his Kelly Cup playoff debut, is able to field it. Combs on the forward check, looking to wreak some havoc. He's got it at the right point. Slides it down low. Person has it chopped away by Nychuk. And they'll send it out to center. Nychuk back in the Kelly Cup playoffs for the second time. Was with Kalamazoo back in the 2024 playoffs. Gladiators try and enter along the left wing. Sylvester gets stuffed. Stingrays with control as they wheel out from behind Bjorklund with King in possession. They'll skate over the red line. Now Gladiator blue. Left for Locust. Return feed Gathered by Jarvis. King lost sight of the puck. Jarvis takes advantage. Finds Orzek on the far wing. Skate over the red line. Feather across to Walter. Off the wall. The Swede reels it in. Looks to center for Orzek, who got tied up. Takes a cross check behind the play as Funk skates it to the red line and plugs it down to Hyder. Walter in the far corner. Spins it to the near. Vacant area. Frenzen's got it. Moves it to the far corner for Locust, and now up top to Leskovar. Long shot, wide of the net. Rebound goes to McNamee on the near wing. He'll shove it out the center. Walter tries to hustle to it. Beat out by Leskovar, under contract for the Minnesota Wild. Walter shakes it free. Snap shot by McNamee. Gloved down by Bjorklund. 1:58 into the third. And something the Gladiators have done really, really well this season has forechecked. It's been one of their A game, and really their defensive structure. That's where it all begins. But when the Gladiators are hustling the pucks, hemming their opposition in their own zone, it comes as a byproduct of their strong forecheck. And some of their best forecheckers are on the ice right now. Cipolone, Denemy, Eisley, face off to the right of Bjorklund. Cipolone will take the draw against Cooley. Face off won by the Stingrays. They will quickly exit as Adamson throws it ahead. Flung down by Eisley. Gladiators shuttle it to Denemy. Scoots it up the ice to Cipolone. Almost had a 2-on-1, but the puck will bounce off his stick. Stingrays will gather. The puck will ping-pong through center. Pinard with control. Relays it to Moore. Pass to the right wing. Goes away from Cooley, and the Gladiators get it back. Denemy will lead the next charge up the ice. They'll leave it for Conroy and head off to the bench. Conroy brings it in on the right side. Wraps it around the boards to the near corner for Cipolone. Throws a big check on Moore. Stingrays keep possession as they move in on the left side. Cooley has it taken away by Gaudette. Cooley gets it back and sends it right wing for a shot, and they score. The Stingrays break the tie. Gaudette thought he had the takeaway. Cooley snags it back, sends it beneath the near circle for a shot and a score from Charlie Combs. We talked about the Gladiators forecheck. There is the Stingrays. Combs, short side on Hyder, makes it a 2-1 Stingrays lead. The Gladiators trail for the first time in this game and this series. How will they respond? Quick give and go in the neutral zone. Young on the fly as it bounced away from his stick. Lipen has it taken away by Neely. He will center. Sylvester in front. Couldn't tap it home. Puck will boomerang back to the Gladiators defense. Nychuk quick touch to Neely. Tries to spring Young into action. Gladiators having trouble on the zone entry. Sylvester tries to get it to Young, but it ends up going to Person. Pass up the ice, flagged down by Neely. He'll brush it left wing for Sylvester. The captain centers to Neely. Save Bjorklund off the redirection, and he's able to gather it with 16:28 left in the third. And I did like that response on that next shift from the Gladiators following the goal from Combs. It is Combs' third career Kelly Cup playoff goal. Had 2 with South Carolina last year. Assisted by Cooley. 2:50 into the third. Offensive zone faceoff for the Gladiators. O'Brien, Nolan, and Eisley are the forward group with Jarvis and Orzek on the back end. O'Brien's been great at the dot this year. Sends that one to the corner. Stingrays pick it up. It'll leak up the boards. Wilkins, quick touch to Pinard in the inside, and we'll just float it into the far corner for Kupka. Stingrays spin it to Leskovar, who shoots. Kick save Hyder. Rebound to Wilkins. Carries around the net. Up to the right point as Krenzen. Across to Leskovar. Inside for Wilkins. Low shot fought off by Hyder. He'll swipe it to the near boards. Look at the far boards. And Gladiators will press into Stingray ice. Stretch pass. Flagged down by Nolan. Left for Roost. He'll carry in on the left side. Pulls up. Looks to center. Conroy dangles. And they're offside. Just barely. 4:20 gone by in the third period. Stingrays have the lead. 2-1 South Carolina lead here in game one. Neutral zone face-off off the offside. Gladiators will trot out McNamee, Roost, and Walter with Les and Conroy. Puck will roll to Hyder. He'll slow it down for Les. On a backspin, throws it to Walter. He'll grind on the right wing up to the red line. Guzzo shuts him down there. Walter forced to send the puck back to his defense. He can't take the return feed. Gladiators do get it back, though, on an errant pass, and now McNamee in front of the scorer's table is met by Locus. McNamee shuffles it deep into Stingray ice. Roost on the forecheck, creates a turnover. Centers for McNamee, and the Stingrays want to slap it down the ice in a hurry. Icing. With 4:57 gone by in the third. And so the draw will be to the left of Bjorklund, who the Gladiators did not see in the season series. Bjorklund under contract to the Washington Capitals and spent most of the season in Hershey with the Hershey Bears. Roost off the face-off, goes around the net from the left wing. Has got it at the right point. Over to the left for Nychuk. He will shoot off a body. It goes wide. Walter behind the cage. Tried to find somebody, but ended up getting nobody. And the Stingrays will chuck it into their own bench with 14:43 on the game clock here in the third. The Gladiators get a line change in. And Cipolone, Denemy, Nolan, Jarvis, Norzek will take the ice. Face-off will once again be on the far dot. Cipolone will take this against Kyler Kupka. Cipolone, a NCAA national champion with Quinnipiac back 2023. Wins the draw, but they blow it dead, and Cipolone looking to the rafters. He's had a few moments like that here at the dot here tonight. Gets tossed for, I believe, the third time, and Denemy will step in. So it'll be Denemy against Lipen. Or excuse me, Denemy against Kupka. And Denemy strong on that puck, is able to win it to Cipolone, grinding in the corner. Left for Denemy. Pass from low to high, finds Jarvis for a shot. That screeches wide. Cipolone has the rebound. Fans on the shot attempt. Gets taken down along the boards. Puck stays in the zone for a long shot. That gets blocked. And the Stingrays carry it out. Nakbar reds it in deep. Orzek shields the puck away from Cooley. They scrum for it at the end wall. Puck drifts up top. King to Nakbar behind the net. Big check thrown by Cooley on Orzek. Stingrays keep the zone. Nakbar around the horn to the right corner for King. As Kupka behind the net. Bouncing puck sputters to the wall. Stingrays keep it at the line. They thread it inside for a shot by Kupka. Hyder makes the save. Stopped at the goal line. Denemy was there from the right wing. Another shot corralled by Hyder with 13:40 left. And they sneak it free and score. They said that Hyder didn't have it. Whistle didn't blow. Stingrays able to peel the puck out of the pile and score. It's DJ King making it 3-1 South Carolina. Oh boy, it looked like Hyder had that puck to me, but the Stingrays swindle that puck out of the pile and score. And Matt Ginn talking things over with the officiating crew. He wants to know why there wasn't a whistle. Dave Warsofsky, the Stingrays coach, getting an explanation. And the Gladiators aren't happy about that one, but looks like it's going to stand. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Stingrays with the 3-1 lead. And so now it is a 2-goal lead for the Stingrays, the largest lead of the night on either side. And the Gladiators are going to have to find a way to quickly turn the tide. Gladiators win the face-off. They'll pound the puck in. Behind Bjorklund, Stingrays chip it up the ice. Combs off the glass. Les will get in front of it as Person was streaking towards it. Gladiators have numbers on the entry. Left wing towards the slot. Neely is there. Sprawling out was Bjorklund to make the save. Hustling through the neutral zone is Combs. Gets around Conroy for a shot. Hyder makes the save. Rebound goes to Person. As Combs behind the net, pinned up by Conroy. Young digging at it. He's able to escape. Passes up the far wall for Neely. Puck drifts out to center. 12:50 left in the third. Pinard over the attacking line. Makes his way to the slot. Puck bounces towards Hyder. He's able to reel it in. He does get the whistle this time with 12:41 left in regulation. Timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. Stingrays have scored the 3 latest goals in the game to take a 3-1 lead. We are back to North Charleston after this from our local partners.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Gladiators Hockey is brought to you by Zivil Performance and Recovery, the official recovery partner of the Atlanta Gladiators. With cryotherapy, infrared sauna, red light compression, float and oxygen therapy, Zivil helps reduce inflammation, speed recovery, and boost energy. Zivil, train hard, recover smarter, and perform like a Gladiator every day. Gladiators down by 2 here in game 1. Looking to rally here late in the third. Tie this game up. Stingrays are on a 3-goal run as they wrap it around Hyder and try and make it 4, but the second-year pro able to mop that one up and gets the whistle with 12:33 on the clock. So after Eisley scored late in the first period, Stingrays get goals from Lipen, Combs, and now King. They transform a 1-0 deficit into a 3-1 lead. Face-off to the left of Hyder. Kupka and O'Brien will duel. Jack O'Brien, 17 goals and 12 assists in 37 games for the Gladiators since a trade from Iowa in late December. Chuck carries it to the right wing. Checked off the puck. Stingrays with it. Cipollone on the forward check. Throws one on Pinard. Stingrays wheel it to center. off the stick of Kupka, and that'll be an icing with 12:11 on the clock. This is going to be one of those moments where the Gladiators are going to have to dig deep. I mean, they didn't like that call, and they had a reason to not like it. The no whistle that led to the goal from King. But either way, the goal stood, and they're going to have to find a way to climb themselves out of a 2-goal hole. Gladiators had 4 multi-goal comebacks in the regular season this year. Face-off on the far circle of the Stingrays zone. Roost against Kupka. And a dog pile off of that one. Stingrays win it. Les holds the zone. Roost down low to McNamee, spinning behind the net. Shoves it up top. Conroy will blast. Blocked in front. McNamee tries to tuck it in. He'll go around the net, push it up top to Les. From the right point, he'll angle it off the near corner wall, looking for McNamee. Cut off by Moore. Clearing attempt. Help to the high slot. Wilkins will shove it all the way down. No icing. Austin Roost, first-year pro, former draft pick of Nashville, ends up losing it at center. Funk left wing across, blocked by Jarvis. Puck still loose. Conroy spears at it, sends Walter on the run. Isaac Walter has the puck poked off his stick by Moore. Stingrays quickly move them in transition themselves. Brodzinski around the horn to the far wall, met by Guzzo, taken in the corner. A wicket from low to high. King. Soft shot, looking for a tip off the stick of Neely behind the net. Young now squirms out to center. Stretch pass to Sylvester. Hits his skate, chases after it to the far corner. Beat out by King. Brodzinski will hold. Outlet pass goes back to Atlanta. They'll put it on goal. Stopped by Bjorklund. And then we'll leave it for Brodzinski. Shot count reached 28-22 in favor of the Stingrays. Long pass makes its way to Combs. Tries to cut inside from the right wing. Stood up well defensively by Gaudette. He'll take him to the end wall. Stingrays fish the puck away. At the left point, it's Leskovar. Fumbling. Pass cut off. Twisted up ice in hopes of finding Neely, but that wouldn't go and ends off to the bench. Stingrays dump it in. Gaudette in the far corner. Moves it to the near for Nychuk. Led ahead to Denemy. Over the red line, and now Stingray blue. Off the wall to himself. Centers. Broken up. Nobody home as Kupka just roll it back out to center. Under 10 minutes to go in the third. 9:53 to be exact. Les to Conroy at the red line. Chops it down to Bjorklund, who plays it in the trapezoid. On his forehand, turns it over. O'Brien to Les for a quick shot that sputters on goal. And with Denemy lurking in front, Bjorklund's able to grab it with 9:39 on the clock. For the Gladiators right now, that is the right idea. Just get stuff on goal, crash the crease, make things difficult for Bjorklund. And we'll have a face-off to his right. Gladiators swapping out bodies. You know what? They threw us all for a fake here. They're actually gonna be to the left of Bjorklund. Atlanta has Eisley, Cipollone, Denemy, Conroy, and Les on the ice right now. Gladiators all-time in their franchise's history are 9-9 in game ones. And they trail by 2 in game 1 here. Cipollone at the dot with Lipen. Want to give the Gladiators control. And the puck is dropped. Stingrays win it. Denemy holds in the clearing attempt. Along the far wall, Eisley to Denemy. Stingrays get in front. Les holds the line. Lipen able to surge out to center. Conroy strips him of the puck. Comes in on the left side. Held at the perimeter. Leskovar around the boards. Eisley keeps it in. Puck available in the far corner. Stingrays push it up at the line where Conroy's able to hold. Takes a hard check in front of the Stingrays bench. South Carolina clears the zone. Have got a penalty for slashing with 9:02 left in the third. And it looks like it's going on the Gladiators. Cipollone to the box. Atlanta to the Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill. And convergence in front of the Gladiators bench. Adam Eisley exchanging words with Justin Nachbar. The officiating crew will separate that bunch. As Cipollone calling for slashing takes a seat. And the Gladiators, who are 4 for 4 on the PK so far today, have to come up with a successful kill here. Penalty kill brought to you by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. Go check them out. Up and coming. Roost, Nolan, Gauntet, and Nychuk on the ice for Atlanta here. Stingrays win the draw. Moore from the high slot. Thought about shooting but didn't. Finds Pinard from the left wing. Quick pass to the slot. Hyder fights it off on a shot from Combs. Has his own rebound along the right wing. Sent downhill to Wilkins. At the line, across to Pinard. Top of the left circle. Shadowed by Nychuk. Chucks it right wing. Shot is blocked. Pops up into the air and stays in play. Wilkins has it behind the net. Nychuk swindles it away and lobs it to center for a clear. Pinard over the attacking line, slams it around the boards to the left wing for Kupka. Checked hard by Nolan. Person keeps the puck. As Pinard at the right point, he'll surf the line. Passes to his right for Moore. Back to Moore, long shot. Sent out of play. I think Hyder got a piece of that. 8:06 left in the third. 1:05 left on the penalty to Cipollone. Gladiators looking to stay perfect on the kill. Denemy, Young, Les, and Conroy, the penalty killers on the ice right now for Atlanta. The Stingrays have Person, Funk, Lipen, and Rodzinski and Locus on the ice now. Locus will take this draw against Young to the left of Hyder. Locus wins it cleanly to the line. Lipen, the right point for Rodzinski. He will survey, moving towards his left, finds Lipen, who threads it to the slot for Person. Gladiators keep him to the outside as they cycle to the right wing. Funk is there, across to Lipen, downhill beneath the left circle to Locus. Got a whistle as the net behind Hyder come off with 7:45 left in period 3. And so they will get that taken care of. Get that far post back on the mooring. And you know what? Let's check the left one as well. We get the far and the near all situated and ready to go. Face off to the left of Hyder. The Young and Locus again. Locus wins it. Rodzinski mans the line, feeds it left wing for Lipen. Down low to Locus, he will turn and try and shoot. Puck flubs off his stick. Young diving, able to clear. We're down to just 26 seconds left on the sentence to Cipollone. Rodzinski leads the charge from the right wing, pulls up at the point. Centers for Lipen on the back end, cuts to the slot. Hyder makes the save in tight. Gladiators pick the puck away. 7:09 left in the third period. O'Brien plunges in deep. Cipollone out of the box. He will join the play. Under 7 minutes left. Gladiators back to full strength. Stingrays lead game one, 3-1. Leskovar to Krenzen on the right wing. He'll slide it off the stick of Kupka and in deep. And that will be an icing on the Stingrays. 6:41 on the clock. It was close, and it benefits the Gladiators greatly here. Offensive zone face-off coming up. And they will send out Walter, Roost, McNamee, Nychuk, and Orzak. Face-off will be on the far circle, and going to have Roost take this against Kupka. And Roost wins that draw, plays it to the wall for McNamee. Slid behind the net. Walter will chase. He's able to beat out Krenzen to the puck. Use it for McNamee in the near corner. Kicks it to Roost. Puck taken away by Pinard. Makes his way out to center and not much more. Gladiators get it back. Orzek rolls it up the ice to McNamee. Stingrays get a partial change as McNamee puts it wide of the cage. Right wing shot from Roost. Bounces between the circles. Snatched by Leskovar and returned to center. Shot count 30-24 in favor of South Carolina. Stingrays lead 3-1. Orzek behind his own net. We'll get a lay of the land. Looking for an avenue to start this breakout. Swing out to the left wing. Nychuk over the red line. Bangs it off the end wall. Sipple in pursuit. Beat out to it by Adamson. Stingrays return it to the Gladiators defense, and now down to 5:38 to play. Gladiators punch it back in deep. Neely from the right corner looks to center. Sylvester in front, tried to tip it in, but Bjorklund able to reel the puck into his glove. Makes the stop with 5:27 to go. Afterwards, another convergence. Cody Sylvester, the former Stingray, in there. A little bit of pushing and shoving, not much, and both teams are sent on their way, and it looks like Nakbar go into the penalty box for the Stingrays. Gladiators to the power play. When we come back, a pivotal chance to pull within one. We are back after this from our local partners.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
.5:27 to go in the third period in game one. Stingrays have a 3-1 lead, but the Gladiators have a chance on the Eco Electric power play to pull within one. Justin Nakbar in the box for the Stingrays. There's a skirmish on that last whistle, and Nakbar sent to the box for what I believe was roughing. And Atlanta has a chance to pull within one. Nychuk takes it out the face-off victory from Young. Spins it down low to O'Brien. Tries to sneak it in, but a right toe save from Bjorklund. Able to keep it out, and the Stingrays will clear. Was a roughing penalty to Nakbar. Walter down the middle, feeds it left wing to Roost. Slows down a bit as O'Brien below the goal line. Return to Roost, up to the left point for Nychuk. Across to Young. Back the other way for Roost, set up for a shot by Nychuk. Ends up deflecting wide. Gladiators keep control. Diving to the slot is Young. O'Brien tries to power it in, but Bjorklund makes the save. Nychuk in the slot, takes a shot. Save Bjorklund again. Behind the net, it is Walter. Checked into the boards. Puck drifts to Young. At the half wall, centers. Nobody home, and the Stingrays will clear. And that unit will head off. Under a minute left on this Gladiator power play. McNamee will lead this breakout. Feathers at left wing for Cipollone, who slingshots it back to Eisley. They'll lug it on the right wing, scan the interior, tries to send it that way, but it hits a body, rolls to Bjorklund. He'll glove it up with 4:04 on the game clock and 38 seconds left on the roughing penalty to Nakbar. Cipollone, Sylvester, Neely, McNamee, and Eisley on the ice for Atlanta. Cipollone to take the draw against Lipen. From the far circle, Cipollone wins it. McNamee at the right point, drifts towards the left, connects with Eisley, sends it back the other way to Sylvester. The captain holds, takes a shot, looking for a tip in front from Neely. He got it, but it went wide. Gladiators keep the puck in. Sylvester, right wing. Puts it to the line for McNamee. Return to the captain. He shoots off a leg and wide. Hit Neely and went out of play in the back of the end zone. Whistle comes with 13 seconds left on the penalty to Nakbar and 3:39 in regulation. The Gladiators are the right idea here. They're shooting the puck, and Neely camped out in front of Bjorklund, making things difficult. They're getting their tips, but can't get something to go. Still a chance to salvage this power play during the next 13 seconds. Cipollone against Guzzo at the dot. He's won it. Orzek at the right point. Gathers the puck, makes his way to the corner. He'll go behind the net, put it up top. Off a stick, Nychuk able to hold. Long shot, blocked on the way. And out of the box is Nakbar. Sylvester waltzes towards the net, centers for Neely. Low shot, stopped by Bjorklund. Neely checked. His helmet pops off, looking for a penalty. Doesn't get it. Hyder to the bench, extra attacker on. Not because of a delayed penalty, though. Gladiators down by 2, going for broke in this game. Kupka carries through center, looks to the empty net, blocked by Nychuk. Big play there. He has it deep in his own zone. Gladiators try and get it away from the Stingrays. King along the left wing puts it wide of the empty cage. Gladiators keep it away from Wilkins with 2:43 to go. Up the ice, Roos has a glance off his stick. Moore turns, fires to the empty cage. Glove down by Orzek. Diving like an outfielder there, keeps it away. 2:25 to play. Roos chucks it in. The empty bucket of Neely still out there. Sputters behind the net. 6-on-5 for Atlanta. Puck behind the Stingray net. Young digging for it, trying to get it away from King. He's got it smothered along the end wall. 4 Gladiators get sucked into that trapezoid down there, trying to pry it away from 2 Stingrays. Meanwhile, under 2 minutes to go, Atlanta still down by 2. Gladiators strip it free. Eisley from the right wing puts it up top. Conroy holds, drifting left, passes that way. Has Roost at the half wall. Down low to Young. Back to Roost. Young again. And up top, the net comes off. And that'll blow the play dead with 1:34 left in the third. As the net behind Bjorklund will become dislodged. And afterwards, a bit of a skirmish here, and Conroy giving a bit of a couple of fisticuffs out there in the near corner of the Stingray zone. We thought it was going to be all peace and quiet. We were mistaken. A couple of buckets have come off the lid of Neely on top of the Stingrays' goal behind Bjorklund's. And is he going to get that one back? I'm not sure. A couple more came off. And so the hat count on the ice. 3 for the Gladiators, 1 for the Stingrays, and one of our linesmen ended up getting tripped up, and he's not happy. Wilkins being escorted towards the home penalty box. And we'll see what we get out of all this. Conroy going for Atlanta. I mean, he may have been the one that started the whole thing. Looks like Roost was having a chat in there. Conroy comes skating in, and he gives a little bit of a shove, and that's what did it. And see if we go 4-on-4 here, and then wherever the face-off be with the Gladiators, be able to keep the net empty. I believe it'll be roughing to each. And all this, not sure if the Gladiators used their timeout or if it's just taken that long to sort things out. Either way, the Gladiators are taking advantage. It wasn't announced in-house that the Gladiators had used their timeout, but either way, they might have used it at this point anyway. It was an extended shift for some of their big guns, and it looks like this face-off is going to be in the neutral zone, so Hyder is going to wait between the circles. And if Atlanta gets possession here, he'll head back to the bench. And the question is this going to be 4-on-4? It will be. So 4-on-4 until the Gladiators could pull Hyder. Then they would take him, pull him to the bench. And so it appears to be a 10-minute misconduct. Well, hang on here. Getting some insider information here. So it's a 10-minute misconduct to Jack O'Brien and a minor to Conroy for roughing. 10-minute misconduct to DJ King and a minor for roughing to Wilkins. And so that will put us at 4-on-4 for the remainder of regulation. And I think the biggest loss out of all of that was losing Jack O'Brien the rest of regulation. I mean, you're going to need a guy like that here. One of your leading point scorers. He led the team in goals with 28 this season, but O'Brien's service is now unavailable. Now, Conroy in the box. Again, that's one of their better puck-moving defensemen. He's taken a seat. And so now for Atlanta, you've got Sylvester, Young, Roost, and Nychuk on. Wilkins in the box for South Carolina. Yeah, he's one of their big point producers, but Stingrays have the lead. They don't need points right now. So the biggest loss is losing DJ King. And they have got Lipen, Locus, Krenzen, and Moore on the ice. And the ice crew taking a look at the net behind Bjorklund that had come off on one of the previous plays. And we'll have to watch and wait for the start of what is going to be the final sequence of regulation. Now Jarvis has come onto the ice for the Gladiators. He's having a chat with one of our referees. He's talking to Ryan Siegel. And we'll see what ends up happening here. They're still drilling some holes in the net behind Bjorklund, who to this point has stopped 29 of 30. Hyder, 26 of 29. And it looks like the Gladiators have 5 players on the ice right now, but one of them is going to have to go off. It will be 4-on-4, and Hyder still out on the ice here between the circles. And so who ends up being the odd man out for these Gladiators? as they get the YMCA going here. There's everybody's favorite dancing usher on Flow Hockey. We've seen that guy a time or two this season. One of the great characters here at North Charleston Coliseum. Yeah, there you go. Bust out a move. We've got the time, it seems. And now it seems like we're ready to go. So the four on the ice: Young, Sylvester, Roost, and Nychuk. Jarvis was the odd man out. Stingrays win the neutral zone face-off. And they'll lob it up the ice to Nychuk at his own blue line. The Gladiators don't have clean control. Not until now. Nychuk over the logo, gains the attacking line, and away goes Hyder. Off the bench comes Walter. 5-on-4 for the Gladiators here as the puck rolls in on Bjorklund. They'll freeze with 1:12 to go. Game 2 tomorrow night, 6:05 puck drop, 5:45 pregame coverage will begin on the Gladiators broadcast network on Flow Hockey and YouTube, barring any more technical difficulties like we had tonight. But you guys got to look at that diving play by Orzak to bat that puck away from the empty cage, diving like an outfielder there. Heck of a play. Otherwise, this game would have been pretty much done. Not dead yet. Puck bounces in the far corner. Walter behind the net as it checked off his stick. Sylvester to Young. Final minute of play. Young tries to sneak it in with a sharp shot. Bjorklund fights it off. Roos has it at the left point. Slides it down low to Walter. Back to Roos. Time running out. Walter snapshot wide of the cage. Nychuk checked by Kupka. Puck sent wide of the cage by Bjorklund. Roos spins it towards the slot. Stingrays fling it away. Puck batted out of the air by Nychuk, and the Gladiators are going to have to touch this. Puck play with a high stick. That'll stop time with 32 seconds left as Young and Kupka were taking jabs in the neutral zone. And so barring some kind of playoff miracle here, looks like the Stingrays are headed towards a Game 1 victory. I think I'd take Young to the penalty box. I mean, at this point, you might as well just send him to the locker room. Young barking at Kyler Kupka. He's not happy at all. And he will join Conroy in the box. And see what this faceoff ends up being, because Nychuk saw that puck soaring towards the empty net. A high riser was able to flag it down with his stick, but puck was played with a high stick, and so the question is where will the faceoff be? And it'll be in the Gladiator zone, so Hyder has to come off the bench, back between the pipes. 4-on-4 again. 32.9 to go. Face-off will be on the near circle. Cipollone will take this against Lipen. And Cipollone does win it. Puck will roll into the far corner. Gladiators need to hustle out of the zone. His time is drained down to just 25 seconds. Hyder to the bench. McNamee carries into motion. Neely joins the play. They'll dump it in deep. McNamee behind the net. Forces it to the left point. Nychuk shoots off a stick and wide. Down to 10 seconds. Cipollone bottled up along the wall. Puck leaks free to Nychuk. Down low, Eisley shoots. He scores! Adam Eisley's got his second with 4.2 to go. The only problem is there might not be enough time. Good work by the Gladiators, especially Chad Nychuk, to keep that play alive. Found Eisley left circle for the score. And we put some extra time on the clock, 5.3. And what is now a 3-2 game. Well, if you believe in miracles, you throw up a hope and a prayer and a Hail Mary. 5.3 to go in regulation. Net is empty. Gladiators have to win this faceoff, immediately charge in and snap a shot on goal. That would need to beat Bjorklund to tie the game. Gladiators doing the draw. Nychuk right wing to Eisley, and they call him offside. With 2 seconds left, that'll pretty much ice it. Oh, they almost got it off. And go figure, another one-goal game between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. See if they put any more time on the clock here. And they're gonna take this to the top of the Gladiator blue line. That is where the draw will be, and that, I don't know if you can go down the length of the ice in 2 seconds. And the puck is dropped, and that is all for game one. But the Gladiators will give the Stingrays a parting gift with a skirmish at the end. Eisley in the thick of it, and now everybody's got a dance partner. It's fisticuffs to end game one. Stingrays win it by the final score of 3-2. As fans right below me gather to watch the end of this, Chiarenza and Nychuk are in a fight. Nychuk gets a right hook in. Chiarenza tries to shrug it off. See if Nychuk can get another blow in as Locust trying to go at Eisley. And now Nychuk and Chiarenza broken up in the neutral zone, and what a way to end game one. A yard sale to end the opening game of this series. Stingrays, by the skin of their teeth, survive a late Gladiator comeback attempt. South Carolina takes game one by the final score of 3-2, and the Stingrays will carry a 1-0 series lead into game two tomorrow night. Coming up next here from North Charleston, post-game coverage to recap game number one and look ahead to game number two. Game two tomorrow, 6:05 puck drop, 5:45 pregame show. We're back in 30 seconds to wrap this one up from North Charleston Coliseum.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Gladiators and fans had waited 4 years for their team to return to the postseason, and tonight was that night. Gladiators looking for their first playoff win since 2013 will have to wait another day as the South Carolina Stingrays take game one of the South Division semifinals by the final score of 3-2. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. This Friday night of hockey was presented by Freddy's. Go check them out at 2230 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. And while this game may have come to a close, you can still stop by Freddy's at 2230 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard for cooked-to-order steak burgers and fresh frozen custard. You know, in many ways, this game lived up to the hype. These two teams knew that they were going to play each other for mathematically about a month. You could feel it brewing for about 2 months. And in this game, you saw two teams that wanted to make a statement. And for the Gladiators, got to give them a lot of credit. They really played a good game here tonight, but ultimately end up falling as it is the Stingrays getting the victory. But the Gladiators did have the lead. They scored the opening goal of the game as in the first period, this game got a bit out of hand. We saw Gladiators open the game with a successful Beaver Toyota Mazda penalty kill, and then they spent a lot of the first period on that penalty kill. As first it was Ryan Hofer going to the box and ended up getting a 5-minute major penalty and a game ejection for a high hit on the head of Andrew Jarvis, and then about a minute later, the same penalty was called to Josh Davies. Spent a lot at that time 4-on-4 as well, as there's some roughing penalties to be handed out. But out of all of that, Gladiators got the kills, and Nobody scored on either of those plays. In fact, it ended up being the Gladiators scoring shorthanded as Alex Young was in the box and a double minor for high sticking. Gladiators drew a penalty of their own and had Hyder pulled for a 5-on-5. Adam Eisley scores from Conroy and Walter with 2:36 left in the first. On a goal that technically goes down as a shorthanded goal despite there being 5 skaters on either side on the ice. To make it a 1-0 Gladiator lead, and they held that lead after one period. They went to the second, and the Stingrays start a run of 3 straight goals. 3 unanswered for the Stingrays begins 9:02 into the second as Jalen Lipen scores for Ludwig Persson. Persson got a shot towards the goal and ended up getting blocked, and the rebound went to Lipen, who scored to make it a 1-1 game. And we head to the third, all tied up at 1, and that's when the Stingrays break free. They score 2:50 into the third as there's a good keep from Cooley, as it looked like Gaudette had the puck taken away from Cooley, and Cooley swipes it right back and sends it beneath the right circle to Combs, who is waiting to pop it in short side. Stingrays took the lead on that goal, and it ends up that it proved to be impactful as the Stingrays then took a 3-1 lead as 13:39 left in the period. Really, the controversy of the night was Ethan Hyder makes a save, and he has the puck. And for whatever reason, the officials don't blow the whistle. They keep the play moving, and the Stingrays fish the puck free, and they scored. And that goal ends up being the game-winning goal as DJ King scores from Nakbar and Kupka to make it a 2-goal lead. And the Gladiators did score a goal late from Adam Eisley with 5.3 seconds left in regulation. Eisley from Nychuk for the score, his second of the night, to make it 3-2, which means that the game-winning goal is that DJ King goal, and the Stingrays take game 1. Final shot count ends up going in the Gladiators' favor, 31-30. And talked about special teams coming into this game, and special teams are going to be a big factor in this series. Gladiators end up going 5 for 5 on the penalty kill with a shorthanded goal, and end up going 0 for 3 on the power play. And this was a game that really felt like it could have gone either way. And the Gladiators played a great game here tonight. So did the Stingrays. Chippy back and forth. I mean, it was either tied or within 1 for the majority of this game until that goal scored by King with 13:39 left in the third. And so this is what was to be expected between these two teams. It was going to be tight. It was going to be a goaltending duel. We saw great play from Ethan Hyder and Garen Bjorklund, both goaltenders for their respective clubs. Bjorklund stops 29 of 31 in the victory. Hyder 27 of 30 in the loss. And so it was a great game from Ethan Hyder. And now the question becomes for both teams is who's going to start for game number 2. As you know, Hyder played a great game so far, great game here today. So did Bjorklund. And the luxury that really both of these two teams have is that they both have contracted goalies at their disposal. And both teams have the option to stick with who started here today. I mean, if you're the Gladiators, you want to go back with Hyder and ride the hot hand, you can. For the Stingrays, you can do the same with Bjorklund, but waiting in the wings, you've got TJ Semptenfelter, the rookie phenom for Atlanta, step in for Hyder in game 2, give Hyder a little bit of rest before the series shifts back to Duluth. Or the Stingrays, you can go with Seth Eisley, who played really well against the Gladiators in the season series. So it's going to be interesting to see who starts in net for both of these two sides. But one thing is for certain, tonight was a tight game that could have gone either way. And I remember saying back earlier in the broadcast that really felt like in this game, the winner was going to be the team that capitalized on the loser's mistake. And unfortunately for the Gladiators, either way you look at it, on that game-winning goal from DJ King, they didn't play to the whistle. They thought they had it covered. They had it all pinned up, and there's an argument to be made that they did. There certainly is an argument, and I'll keep my thoughts to my own, but the Gladiators didn't play to the whistle, and it ended up being that the Stingrays picked the puck away and scored, and Gladiators made a mistake, and the Stingrays were able to punish them for it, and it ends up being the game-winning goal. So it's going to be a long series. It certainly feels that way. Tight game goes the Stingrays' way, and lo and behold, it's another 1-goal game between the Gladiators and the Stingrays. South Carolina was 17-1, 1-3. The one-goal games this season. The Gladiators were 19-8, 4-1, and ends up being that this one goes the way of the Stingrays. And the Gladiators look to tie the series before it heads to Duluth with Game 2 tomorrow night here at North Charleston Coliseum. Puck drop is set for 6:05 p.m., so an hour earlier than tonight's start time. We'll have all for you with pregame coverage beginning at 5:45 Eastern Time on the Gladiators Broadcast Network on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Again, 5:45 start time, 6:05 puck drop. We'll have it all for you here on Flow Hockey and YouTube. Another big shout-out to everybody at our watch party back in Duluth at Coquio. Looks like you guys had a good time over there. Saw some tequila being passed out. A lot of fans in attendance. Again, thank you, everybody who attended that, and thank you to everybody who watched Game 1 at home, and thank you, everybody who tuned in, whether it was on Flow Hockey or YouTube. This one was a lot of fun, and while the Gladiators did not win here tonight, they certainly made a statement at the end. A lot of fisticuffs, a yard sale, and sets the stage nicely for what is going to be a high-flying and maybe a fisticuff-filled Game 2 tomorrow night from North Charleston. Stingrays lead the series 1-0. Final score from North Charleston: the South Carolina Stingrays 3 and the Atlanta Gladiators 2. I'm Guy Chiarenza, thanking you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. Hope to see you back again tomorrow for Game 2. Good night and so long. See you back then.